Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, guys. Hold on. I hope everyone is having a great morning, great afternoon. How's everyone doing today on this Tuesday? Y'all, I had dozed back off. I was tired. I got up like six something this morning to start my laundry and child, baby, I was tired. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing great. Hey, open book. Ooh, y'all, I had dozed off, y'all. Oh my God, I feel just tired. Happy Tuesday, everyone. How y'all doing? I gotta prep myself up, y'all, because I feel tired. I got up early. Y'all, I don't know. What do y'all think about Nancy Grace live yesterday? Whoever was in it, I don't know who was in her live. But TMZ, go sit down. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all is liars. Just sit down. I'm just sick of y'all. I don't trust none of y'all. How you gonna put the video out and then say, "Well, we don't know if it's them or not. We don't know." I spoke to law enforcement. Law enforcement said they have pictures of Nolan on the island at 6:30. Well, show them bitches then. Show them, and only that. Don't just show the pictures that he was on the island at 6:30. Show who he was on the island with at 6:30. Because I know damn well he was not on the island by himself. And Miss Parker in this chat, is Miss Parker in this chat? Because baby, maybe she ain't in here yet. You're like, if he was on the island at 6:30, see, I don't listen, y'all. I already know all this is just a cover up, and I don't know if law enforcement said it or not, but that came out of his mouth. That the law he said he spoke with law enforcement, and law enforcement said that they got videos of Nolan being on the island at 6:30. Okay, so then if y'all do have videos of Nolan being on that island at 6:30, who he was with, what he was doing, show us that. And if law enforcement is doing that, I don't know if they doing that, but this is what came out of his mouth on that live like yesterday that he did with the guy. Um I think that's so unfair for the family if that's what law enforcement told you. Because why didn't law enforcement tell the family that? So it makes me feel like, are y'all keeping a secrets from the family so y'all can come out and say, oh, he did drown? Like y'all doing stuff backhanded, with the news media and all of that stuff. And then you got another news media coming out. I don't know if y'all seen it. They're going to say that Nolan was drunk. He was drinking all day on the island, y'all. Did y'all see that new clip? I heard it this morning. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's definitely a cover up, right, Royal D? Yes. Yes. I'm definitely tired of TMZ. Been tired of them. I would never go to them for them to interview me for nothing. They are habitual liars. All these news stations is lying. Now, why all of a sudden they gonna come out and say that Nolan was drinking heavily? This is what they said, y'all, and I'm not making it up. I watched the guy video this morning. He played the clip, and they said that Nolan was drinking heavily. How do y'all know that? Y'all got proof of that? Miss Christina received a death phone call and they showed up at her job. Oh, I didn't know nothing about that one. Well, I think they'll get arrested showing up at her job because I think she works at a hospital. So, if that's what they want to do, they all was drinking. So what's their point? Right, right. Everybody was drinking. But why all of a sudden now is Nolan this, Nolan that? Like, I don't get it. Okay, well, if you all have all the photos, show me a photo. That's what I said too. Put a photo out. And I want the time stamp on it. I don't want no fucking AI shit. I want a time stamp on it. Real time stamp that he was on that island at 6:30. Okay? And I want to see pictures of what he was doing at 6:30. Because he wasn't just standing there. If he was there at 6:30, let's be real. Show a video. Something, who he was with, what they was doing. TMT. Because y'all got a lot to say. Let me see. Well, I don't follow Mr. Potato, but I did run across his Facebook yesterday, right? It came down my timeline, and I did see Mr. Potato. He did put up some pictures of the boat that they was on, and to try to prove that Nolan was on not on the boat. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm sick of TMZ. I'm sick of all of them. I'm sick of all of these news stations. Y'all can say what y'all fucking want to say. I'm gonna roll out with Nolan. Period. 3 weeks later, now the witnesses want to come forward. Yeah, okay, right, King. Say that shit again. And then let's say this. Now, they said that, y'all, what's the boy name they say had the fight? Help me out here. Help me out here, family. What is the boy? Hey, Brittany, baby. What is the boy name? Is that the boy that Mr. Potato had the interview with? Y'all, let me know if that's the boy that's supposed to have had an argument and a fight with someone. Is that him? Okay, that's his name. Now, where is the boy that he had the fight with? Where is he at? Have anybody interviewed him and he confirmed, excuse me, that he had a fight with him? What the fight was behind? Have do anybody know who this boy is? Come on now. Do anybody? Thank you, King. And thank you for chiming in. I appreciate it. Because baby, you be having me cracking up over there. I come in your chat, speak to everybody, and I just stay in the bushes, baby. But I be hollering. There go Miss Parker. Miss Parker, I got your message yesterday, and you talking about something. Dion, was that you sent me that message? Let me know if that's you. If that was you sent me that message yesterday, because I enjoyed reading it. I thought his name was. Listen, y'all. I don't know his name, but I need to know who is the boy that had the fight with him. Who is the boy? Where's the boy at? Why the boy ain't came out yet? Why the boy ain't come out and say, yes, we had a fight. The fight was over this. It wasn't Nolan and whoever had a fight. No, I believe this boy and Nolan had the fight. And I believe they're trying to cover it up. Yeah, that's what I believe. And Bark is 21 and they lied and said he wasn't there and they called his name on the video. Yes, they did. Yet it was me running my mouth. No, I appreciate you. I respect everything you said. I agree with everything you said. Yes, you was on point. You was definitely on point. And thank you so much. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me go back. Smash the like button, family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, that's his name. Okay. Okay. That's what GD just said too. They are all covering up something. Yes, justice for Nolan. Yeah, they are. They are. Because if he said that Nolan ain't had no fight with nobody, well then you saying you had the fight, well then who was the guy that you had the fight with? Why that guy haven't came forward yet? Why he haven't came forward? Did Mr. Potato interview him yet? That's what I want to know. Mr. Potato needs to interview him and see what was the fight about. How did the fight start? Where was Nolan at in the time of y'all fight? Okay. Katie is lying. She's a big liar. Katie is, hold on, y'all. Let me pin my link at the bottom. Okay. Katie is a big liar. I don't believe anything Katie is saying at all. Right? And why did they all wait to speak after the funeral? Facts. Facts. And then y'all, can I just be honest with y'all? Y'all, I'm y'all, I don't trust that police department, y'all. I just gotta be real with y'all. I don't trust them. And the reason why I'm telling y'all I don't trust them, y'all, because why is they saying things to TMZ if this an investigation? And why is TMZ coming out saying the things that he hearing from inside? Why? Why? If this an investigation, but y'all get mad when Ben Crump came on and said stuff, but TMZ, they saying that they spoke to investigators. Yeah. Right, Ray Ray. Right. Right. And another thing, why is these boys attorneys allowing them to speak out? Right? Whoever the ones with the attorneys. Why they're attorneys allowing them to speak out? Is it because the attorneys know that they're not going to be charged and they're allowing them to speak out, but telling them what to say and what not to say? Is that could be a possibility? Just saying, y'all. I don't know who that is. I never heard of that person. You listen, y'all. It's so many names coming forward. I don't know who the fuck is Jerry. Like, what is going on? Yeah, I don't know. All these people is just some of these people. I don't know who they are. I don't. But why is there even Mr. Potato said he even spoke to their attorneys? Didn't y'all hear Mr. Potato say that? Hmm. Wow. Okay, Jerry is the grandpa. Okay. Thank you so much, Monica. Jerry is the grandpa. So why did the grandpa reach out to? Well, okay, let's say this because the grandpa do has a membership, right? So I guess when he called the grandpa and told the grandpa that the boat was sinking. The grandpa immediately called into the dispatcher because the grandpa is the owner of the boat, and the grandpa does have a membership with them, meaning he paid monthly, yearly, whatever. So that's nonetheless, and that's not suspicious because everybody that owns a boat should have a membership. So if anything happened to your boat while you out on your boat, the membership is to come to rescue you from sinking or whatever the situation may be. Mm. But I do find it suspicious that Mr. Potato is speaking to the attorneys and TMZ is speaking to the detectives, and I mean this came out of his mouth. It ain't come out of my mouth. You know, it came out of his mouth. Okay, open book. Drive safely. Do not type in this chat while you are driving. Yes, his name is Mr. Potato. Open book. His name is Mr. Potato. That's his name. Open book. I gave him Mr. Potato, baby. Yes, Miss D. I also believe they are so about getting away with this, that they are so comfortable about getting away with this that they can just do and say whatever they want. Bingo. Bingo. That's exactly what I thought about, Miss Parker. The grandpa is retired military. We makes the boats and work with Justin. Who is that? Y'all got all kind of names from him. Oh my God, y'all names is hilarious. They going to get away with it. I was thinking that too. Hey, Brittany. I was thinking that. I have thoughts, y'all. I just don't really like say nothing. But I mean, because why is the attorney allowing them to speak freely on all these platforms? And then I thought about, oh yeah, he's an ex, cop, so that's why he's letting him speak, and that's why the attorneys is speaking with him behind the scenes, and they're sharing different things like photos and stuff like that, and that's why TMZ is feeling comfortable with speaking to the detective and all of this. And the detective said they got photos of Nolan on the island at 6:30. Well, I damn sure want to see them photos. I ain't even gonna lie. Girl, every day they got a new name. Who girl? That Miss Parker. That is the wait, y'all. It is so many names. Hold on, y'all. Brad, y'all help me out here. Is that the doctor's son? That's the doctor's son, right, y'all? I think they're not going to charge Nolan. Wait, I think they're not going to charge Nolan father, and these people are going to turn up. Mm. Justin is the grandpa called to tow the boat. Right, but is Brad is the doctor's son? Right, Ray. Okay, thank you. Ooh, we got so many people is into so many things. We got the doctor, we got the lawyer, we got the ooh Lord, we got a lot going on here, y'all. Yes, that is the doctor's son. Okay. Mm, mm. Wait, Miss Walker, are you saying Nolan's mother and the doctor work at the same hospital? Is that what you saying? Jerry is the grandfather. Ah, okay, yeah, okay. Somebody just said that. So you saying that the doctor, which is Brat's son, and Nolan mother works at the same hospital? Did anybody confirm? Did anybody confirm that? Wow. Yes, they work at the same hospital. Wow. I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me. Yes, Miss Parker, you heard it. You heard it, Miss Parker. Miss Parker was like, wait, what? Damn what? Miss Parker was like, wait, hold up. What the hell? Yep, that's what they're saying. Let's see. I don't know. I can look into it though. Okay. Okay. Yes, it's true. My auntie OG in here. Well, if you in here, auntie OG, hey, I ain't even see you come in. Ooh, Lord. Wow. Wow. All right, y'all. Y'all be having me speechless. Like for real, for real. That's crazy. So, do y'all know what Nolan mother does in the hospital, and do y'all know what Jerry do in the hospital? What's their positions? Do anybody know their positions or what they do in the hospital? Damn, Mississippi must be a small ass goddamn town. I thought he had his own practitioner. That's what I heard. Okay, got you, sis. Okay, they're brothers. Okay. Nolan Mums is a nurse practitioner. Got you. Now, somebody did say that Jerry had his own practitioner. I don't know if that's true, y'all. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Okay. They tried to lie and say Brett wasn't there. He was there. They all was there. Now listen, y'all. Now y'all remember that little teeny boat that y'all seen them people on, and the leg was coming over the boat. And I told y'all I don't really want to say that was Nolan leg because I don't know, so I don't want to put out false information. Now, somebody said that that boat was not the boat they originally was on. Mr. Potato Head posted the boat that they really was on. Did y'all see that? I'm asking y'all, did y'all see the big boat that they was really on? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Now, Mr. Potato said he got pictures of Nolan on the island too. I don't care about the boat. Okay, Mr. Potato can keep the boat. Post them pictures of Nolan on that island at 6:30. And again, y'all, if Nolan was on that island at 6:30, which I'm not gonna believe, right? Why would y'all leave Nolan on the island by himself, knowing he didn't have no way back? Why would Nolan say, I'm gonna stay here, not knowing how the fuck you gonna get back across the water? So who did Nolan stay on that island with? Where is these people? Why is these people not coming out and saying, yes, Nolan was with us at 6:30. He was going to take the boat back with us at 6:30 back to the land. It's a lot of unanswered questions, y'all. Where is these people? It's still some people that need to speak. Because if Nolan was out there at 6:30 with someone, because I know damn well Nolan ain't stay on that island by himself at no 6:30. No, but I seen the other boat. Yeah, I seen that boat. I seen that boat. Because Mr. Potato Head posted too. I didn't mean to say that, but anyway. In Mr. Potato Head interview, it was stated that it's not making sense. No one has said that. Right. That's what I'm saying. Open book is not making sense. If Nolan stayed back, and that's a lot of people, and I'm so sick of people keep saying, well, we can't really say that was Nolan on the boat or that was Nolan not on the boat. We have to let them do their investigation. Let's ask ourselves, is they really doing an investigation? Is they really doing an investigation? Because they clearly telling TMZ that they got photos of Nolan on the thing by himself at 6:30. If y'all really doing the investigation, why is y'all talking? But y'all don't want the content creators or whoever to say this and say that. But y'all behind the scenes telling TMZ that y'all seeing pictures of Nolan out there by himself at 6:30. Make it make fucking sense. Make it make sense. Okay, open book. Okay. Okay. Got you. Y'all talking about something, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, as content creators, that's the fuck what we supposed to do. Speculating. We don't know what the fuck really fucking happened. Yeah. That's what we supposed to do to try to put the pieces together. Show us some pictures that Nolan was out there. We need to find out who the boy had a fight with. Whoever, if the boy really had a fight, we need to know who he is. Who is the boy that y'all had a fight with? Interview him, Mr. Potato. Y'all need to interview the guy that had the fight with the other boy that was on Mr. Potato platform. Where is he at? Where's the pictures at of Nolan being out there at 6:30? Who was Nolan out there with at 6:30? Can they come out and say what happened to Nolan? Because if Nolan was out there with someone else at 6:30, when then they did something to Nolan. And where are they? Where are those people? Um, White today said fuck Nolan and his parents. Oh, well, it ain't fuck Nolan over here. It's justice for Nolan over here. And how come those people have random pictures of Nolan? It's like he was being right, right, Ray Ray. Ray Ray would say we don't give a damn. That's right, Ray Ray. Miss Parker, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm telling you, they are lying. They are waiting to get their story together to come out and say Nolan was drinking and he drowned. I'm telling y'all, get ready, y'all, because this is what the fuck they gonna do. I'm telling y'all, they're not investigating nothing. Dog man, that's why he got pow pow for running his mouth. Ooh, and I could be wrong, y'all, but I just believe they're gonna come out and cover up everything and saying Nolan was drinking and he drowned it. But they're not. Y'all interviewed 60 people. That's what they said. They interviewed 60 people. So all those 60 people that y'all interviewed, all those 60 people, are they against Nolan? Are they against Nolan? Meaning they're saying Nolan did stay on the island? All those 60 people. Or they're saying that Nolan stayed on the island and they heard everybody saying, Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. Come on. Is this what all these 60 people are saying? 60 people are saying, Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. Come on. Is this what all these 60 people are saying? 60 people are saying, Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. Come on. Is this what all these 60 people are saying? 60 people are saying, Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. Come on. Asking for a friend. Huh. Because they say they interviewed 60 people. 60 people. And even them little white motherfuckers, some of them, not all, Nolan said he wants to stay back with Katie. But Katie got on the boat and went back to the mainland. And Katie family came and picked Katie up. So how did he stay with Katie? Is giving those old open books. Say it again, my sister. That's exactly what it's giving. That's exactly what it's giving. Facts. Facts, sis. That's what it's giving. Yep. Mm-hmm. All liars. They all been coached. Because I need to know where's the boy at that had the fight with the other boy? Why have he been interviewed yet? I need to know where is these people that stayed back on the. See, they keep saying Nolan wanted to stay back. We told Nolan get on the boat. All right. Why, Warren? Why is y'all not saying when Nolan stayed back with these people here? These is the people that I seen Nolan with. Because if y'all got so many pictures of Nolan, why don't y'all have pictures of the people that Nolan stayed back with? Where's those pictures? Why don't y'all have pictures of the people that Nolan stayed back with? Because y'all got so many pictures of Nolan stayed back. Where's the pictures of the people that he stayed back with? Come forward and show those pictures. Do the authority got those pictures of the people that Nolan stayed back with? Come on now. What is done in the dark always come to the light. They can say what they want, but the power of God will, yes, will prevail. Yes, sis, say it again. Yes. Those friends are demons. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes. Because show us some pictures. Show us some pictures that he stayed back on the island with these boys or girls or whoever and what they was doing with the real time stamp. And show us this is the boat that Nolan's supposed to came back on. This was those people boat, and this is the boat that he's supposed to came back on, and these is the people that he was with. Show that. That's what the fuck we want to see. Show that because y'all can't show it. You can't show it because Nolan was on that damn boat with y'all, and y'all did something to Nolan. Yes, Miss Parker. Yes, absolutely. Now, do I make sense, y'all? Do I make sense or not? If Nolan stayed back, y'all got all these pictures of Nolan wasn't on the boat. Show us pictures of Nolan on the island. Show us pictures of who Nolan stayed on the island with. Show us pictures of the boat that Nolan's supposed to got on with these people. Show us because y'all got so many goddamn pictures. Show us those pictures. Ain't nobody gonna never point that out. They're not gonna point that out. Nolan was drinking heavily. Let's get into Nasty Grace.
If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened?
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description?
So y'all, is this Warren talking? Is this Warren? Who is this talking on this dispatch? Salute, speak. You are on their damn necks. Thank you, sis. Yeah, show some pictures. I want to see pictures of Nolan out there with his friends. I want to see pictures of the boat Nolan's supposed to got on coming back with these people that he said that y'all claim that he was going to stay out there with. Show them pictures because y'all got pictures of everything else. So show those pictures of the people that Nolan was going to stay out there with, and show pictures of the boat that he was going to get back on with, right? Because if y'all show that, we'll back off of y'all, and we're going to go on the people now that Nolan supposed to got on that damn boat with. Those the motherfuckers we going after now. We'll slack up on y'all if y'all show us those people that Nolan supposed to got on the boat with that he was going to stay out there with. Come on, show us. Because we were back off of y'all and we going hard on those people that was last seen with Nolan and Nolan supposed to got on the boat with them. Come on, show us. Because we would slack up off of y'all and we were going to their ass now. Because now we got proof that Nolan was on the island with these people, and this is the boat that Nolan was left to get back on. Okay, Miss Parker, got you.
Ankles. Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
How you don't know? How you don't know? We going down. We just going down. I don't know. How you don't know? And the authorities doesn't see this as a red flag? And TMZ, y'all don't see this as a red flag, you fucking dummies?
I run a podcast solo. No producer, no editor, no tech skills, just Riverside. I get high quality podcast.
I want to see pictures of the boat Nolan's supposed to got on.
What did we just hear? What was that? One more time, please.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and
like
our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles. Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Straight out to investigative reporter crime stories. Dave Mack, did you just hear what I heard? Now, this has been transcribed, and this is the CTO dispatch call. Because, Dave, when I first heard this, I thought, has this been doctored? Is this real? Where's this coming from, Dave?
Nancy, this is coming from from Mississippi, from the actual official. Okay, when we get into the Mississippi Fish and Wildlife and at the reserve putting this out for the public, this is not like from Dave Mack's recording. This is an official recording, Nancy, that is being issued, and it's shocking when you listen to this call for a tow, for the sea tow. Going further into it, Nancy, you're picking apart all of the different voices that can be heard on this one phone call, trying to determine what is really taking place on this boat that is allegedly sitting in 31 feet of water, a depth of 31 feet. And a bilge pump not working, claiming they're sinking, and calling for help. And yet, in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Guys, this was released from the MDMR, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Alexis Tereszcuk joining us out of LA, just joining us now, Crime Stories investigative reporter as well. Alexis, the transcription, I want you to listen to it, Alexis, as we play it again. This is obtained from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. It's not something we just found on TikTok. Listen.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey,
Is
so
the
damn rude.
yes?
With his
How far is the
shitty
water
mouth.
coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're
You don't
going
know
down
shit because you're lying.
Okay, Alexis Tereszcuk, jump in.
So it sounds like before the woman starts talking, the operator, everyone in the background is saying, "Is he dead? Nolan, wake the f- up." And so they are concerned about Nolan. They're saying, literally, is he dead? Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead on the boat. This is the first time that we are hearing this.
What is the chance that this has been doctored in some way, Alexis Tereszcuk? Because circulating on the internet was a scene where another young man was face down being attacked on the sand. That was not Nolan Wells. That's not Nolan Wells. Repeat. So there are bottom feeders that are fabricating evidence and circulating it, and it is whipping up all sorts of hostility. But regarding this, have you listened to it independently of any transcription?
I have listened to it. I've listened to it over and over, and I've listened to the audio where it's only the sound of the boy calling in and not the operator's voice. So it takes a little bit of the distraction out, and you can just hear the voices, the one friend saying, "Is he dead?" And we are hearing somebody very worried. They're saying, "Is he dead?" Somebody, you think you might have heard them say Nolan right before that. Somebody then says, "Oh my God." So the thing is, there have been a lot of false videos. People have said there was a video where Nolan was screaming, saying, "Give me my phone back." His friend says, "No, that's me in the video." There have been tons of AI generated videos and images and things, but this is the official audio from the organization.
Okay, let's hear the audio to which you are referring. Listen.
Because y'all, let's be real. If this an AI generated video, where it's a lie that the goddamn TMZ put out, because they didn't want to put it the fuck out, and it's a lie that came from the boat people, okay? Because they didn't want to give it to TMZ. So don't get mad because the internet, it got it going around. It's going around everywhere, all over social media. We didn't put it out. It's a lie that they did, okay? It's something that they made up with AI, if y'all want to go there, because it ain't nothing that the content creators did or anybody like that. Go to TMZ and go to the people that gave it to TMZ, because that's where it came from first, okay?
Everyone keeps asking me how I do my podcast alone. The answer, Riverside.
Say to my who got arrested
I get high quality podcast
Yeah,
support.
right.
Now, it's my understanding, Dave Mack, that sound we just played is real sound. That is not doctored sound, but someone else claims that's them saying, "Give me my phone back." That is not Nolan Wells. Explain.
Well, Nancy, what we have is some friends that were also out on the boat trip out to.
And you know what? That might not been Nolan saying, "Give me my phone back." It may not been him. Okay, it's okay. It may not have been him, but everybody was, Ben Crump was not taking no chances at that time when it came out because of what happened to Nolan. So it may not have been Nolan saying that, but I can guarantee you that this shit on this boat is real. Okay, that's what the fuck y'all need to be focused on, and fuck the goddamn phone shit round about now, because this is more important right here than give me my motherfucking phone back. What you doing with my phone? Don't you think so?
Horn Island that were with Nolan Wells and were friends with Nolan Wells claim that was him, that he was the one that was saying, "Give me my phone back," that it wasn't Nolan Wells. So we've got an identification from the person who says, "I was the one saying that. It wasn't Nolan Wells." And when you listen to the audio, Nancy, it does seem like it is not Nolan Wells saying, "Give me my phone back." It sounds like the guy claiming it.
Guys, a lot of confusion surrounding the audio that has been released by the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. This, as we are also learning about an offer made by the United Cajun Navy to Ben Crump, who is representing Nolan's family, to Todd Terrell joining us, the president of the Cajun Navy. Todd, thank you for being with us tonight. Todd, explain to me the offer that you guys made to Crump.
Well, first of all, I want to make sure that I really am specific about the words I use, because I don't want things taken out of context. Me personally, as president of the United Cajun Navy, made a call to Mr. Crump and offering him our services for dogs, cadaver dogs and specific scent dogs. I never heard back from him. Our incident commander, Josh Gill, did speak to Liza Parks, I think he's one of his lead attorneys or whatever, and offered the services as well. The rumors about us talking to Mr. Crump, personally, I want to set the record straight. Nobody, myself, nor anyone from United Cajun Navy spoke personally to Mr. Crump. We did reach out and make an offer, but we did not hear back from him.
Well, first of all, sir, Crump can't give you okay to go search somebody that's goddamn boat, because he ain't law enforcement. Okay, he can't get no goddamn warrant and say, "Yeah, go search that boat." What the fuck you should have did is reached out to law enforcement and see if they wanted you to search that boat and get a warrant for that boat. Because, come on, that's why Bill Crump probably didn't reach back out to you, baby. Because he can't give you permission to go on somebody else's property to search somebody else's goddamn boat. What the hell you want them to sue him? What in the hell?
Yeah.
Okay. Much has been made of the offer to, was it cadaver dogs, scent dogs, or both, Todd?
It was both. It was cadaver dogs and specific scent dogs. And, some of this needs to be clarified.
Okay.
And we did make an offer, but we did not hear from him himself.
Gotcha. There's a lot of people on the team. So who is it that you said you guys contacted or spoke with?
Liza Park. And we have a phone record. Our guy, Josh Gill, my incident commander, on the 13th, left her a message. And on the 14th, they reached out to her. And I think got back, I think it was 9:51 on the 14th. There was a 23-minute call with Josh Gill, our incident commander, and Liza Park, who I believe is Mr. Crump's lead attorney. And so they knew well what we did, the credentials of the dogs, and what our specific
yeah, we know what y'all do, sir, but Ben Crump cannot just say, "Okay, go to the house and search this boat. Take the dogs and search the boat." He cannot do that. He's not a judge to give you a right to do that. He's a civil right attorney. He just cannot tell you to go to somebody's house and search somebody's boat. So you saying this to say what? I don't get it.
Offer was. So they knew it ahead of time.
To Marie Pereira joining us, veteran criminal defense attorney. She is also a domestic violence expert and a registered nurse to boot. Marie, thank you for being with us tonight. Here's the deal. A lot has been made that Nolan Wells's family turned down an offer to have the boat searched with cadaver dogs, which, if they had hit on the boat, would suggest a dead body had been on the boat. Here is the fly in the ointment. It's not their boat. They can't give authority or permission or privilege for anybody to get on that boat and search the boat.
Facts.
So the fact that Crump's team didn't call back means nothing.
Yeah.
They were not authorized to
boat.
give authority or privilege or permission for anybody to board that boat, much less a cadaver dog or a scent dog.
You nailed it. And it's not his job or anybody else's to do what the police need to be investigating.
Facts.
After hearing that audio and knowing all the facts, they should be investigating this like it's a homicide and stop with the he say, she say from all of those kids on the boat who are presumed innocent at this moment, but I'm seeing and hearing guilt. Just off the fact that they even had his phone, that part. Why did you even have his telephone? I will never get over that because even as an adult, my phone is my life. If I'm staying back doing anything, I'm staying with my phone. So they need to be investigating all of those kids, interviewing them piece by piece, one at a time. And I promise you, somebody's going to break and tell the truth here.
Yep.
I run a podcast solo. No producer, no editor, no tech skills, just Riverside. I get high quality podcast recordings right from my room.
Joining me is Marie Pereira. You know, in any criminal investigation, the first thing you do is get all the parties, all of them, and you separate them and you question them separately. You give them a waiver of their rights.
These boys get away with too
much. They read it, they sign it. You read it out loud to them. You get all this on video and you ask each one separately what happened before they have a chance to get together and talk. I'm not saying the friends are guilty. I'm not saying they're innocent. What I am saying is that would have been proper police procedure. For all we know, it did happen. It doesn't sound like it happened, but for all we know, it may have happened. The next thing you do is you ask them, would they willingly take a polygraph? Now, you and I, Marie Pereira, know that in a criminal case, polygraphs are not allowed into evidence unless they are stipulated, agreed to, before the polygraph is taken. It's the only way they come in. Now, in civil cases, there in the criminal case, did come in the civil case, and P.S., he flunked it. That said, that's what you do. You separate them, you talk to them, you record it, you get their waiver of rights, you read their rights out loud on video, then you talk to them. Not hard. Next thing, you bring cadaver dogs and scent dogs on that boat. Now, scent dogs are going to hit on the boat anyway because they state Nolan was on the boat. So they're going to pick up Nolan's scent on that boat. Cadaver dog, whole nother story. And another thing, I would get a search warrant for it. You may not need a search warrant because a moving vehicle, as you know, Marie Pereira, under U.S. v. Carroll, that was the case that goes all the way back to moonshine days, bootleggers. If it's exigent circumstances, in other words, the evidence could leave. In that case, it was a car that was weighted down in the back. And the prohibitionists thought there was moonshine in it, and there was, and they stopped the car because the evidence would have been gotten rid of. Same thing with the boat. You may not even need a search warrant, but you could get one. That said, that should have been done day one. To Todd Terrell, President Cajun Navy, you guys have at your access scent dogs and cadaver dogs. Do you believe, Todd, that any evidence of a body on that boat would still be detectable even now?
Not speaking specifically in this case, but in past cases, we've had dogs detect body, blood and smell months and even years later. Our biggest thing was you got to eat this elephant one piece at a time. And if no one thought there was anything on that boat, they should be willing to allow dogs to go on the boat. So,
well, at least we know they didn't allow the dogs to go on the boat. So that's why you should have reached out to the authorities and tell them you will let your dogs go on the boat. But y'all got to present, a warrant or something like that. Why would you go to Ben Crump and say he didn't reach out to you and y'all gave him, y'all want to help him, and send the dogs over in the boat? Like, what the hell? He gonna tell y'all go on somebody's boat that don't belong to him? You didn't reach out to the right person, sir. You should have reached out to the authorities and told them that you would help them out, and have the dogs search the boat, smell the boat for whatever. I think you reached out to the wrong person, because Ben Crump don't have no authority to tell you to go on somebody else's boat with some dogs.
for us, it's a matter of just, it's another tool. It's a tool to use. Dogs aren't 100%, but these dogs are pretty damn close to it.
Joining me now is Elliot Connie out of Arlington, Texas, psychotherapist. He's author of Change Your Questions, Change Your Future. He's president founder of the Solution Focused Universe. He's a star of Family Therapy Podcast and upcoming The Elliot Connie Show. Elliot, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Both sides are so ready to jump on each other. I'm guessing, I don't know what Crump's thinking, but he did not have authority to release that boat. It's not his boat. That's like me telling you, Elliot, sure, go ahead, search Dave Mack's house. I don't care. You've got my permission. That's not my house. I can't give permission for you to go search it.
Exactly.
So it's really simple.
That's absolutely right. It's really simple. I don't really understand so much of this. Like, people are, like you said, one side is going after the other instead of just accepting really logical things like the points that you're making here. Like, the family does not have the right to tell the other family what they can and cannot do with the boat, and other people are using that as evidence that there's something somehow wrong with what the family is saying, when all they really want is justice. And justice is the pursuit of truth. And it just seems to be triggering people in such an odd way that I, quite frankly, don't understand.
Record, edit, and share your content all in one place with Riverside.
Did that shit, Lord, they were talking
One
about that
touch
man
recording.
like a dog. Probably try to sue him and everything.
Guys, I want to circle back not only to the beginning of that MR, Mississippi Department Marine Research call. I want you to hear more,
Queen.
a different segment of that SEATO, that's SEATOW call. Listen.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island. Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it the ground?
We were sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in 17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs Harbor or Fort Bayou Launch.
You know, it just struck me. He's got reception. Why is everybody saying you can't make calls and you can't take pictures because there's no reception? He's out in the middle of the water with those coordinates and he's got reception. Remember that? Remember that, Alexis Tereshchuk, Crime Stories investigative reporter? We were told at the beginning that items were not deleted off Nolan Wills's phone, but he wasn't posting because there wasn't reception. But they're out in the middle of the water and they've got reception.
They do. He has really good reception, and you can hear it clearly throughout this call. But the stories maybe have changed a few times. First, it was he didn't have any reception. The other was, oh, nobody took their phones on the island because you had to wade through some water to get to it. And they even said, well, this is salt water, not fresh water, as if that matters to your phone when you drop it into it. But there are videos from the island. Even some of his friends are in videos from the island. So people clearly had their phone. And the other friend was arguing when you were talking about the videos that people worry about that have said that it was him. His friend was seen in the video screaming, give me back my phone. The phones were there. Other kids had their phones.
Okay, but before I discount claims that Nolan did not have reception, I don't know what carrier he had. Maybe he didn't have reception. My point is, why everybody's screaming to shut this investigation down, I don't know, because these are very rudimentary facts that we don't have the answers to. He is talking about the boat taking on water. We are sinking. Come and get us. I want this boat unsank and towed back. But interesting, we learn that very boat took multiple trips later that very same night.
So first, at 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock. It arrives at Horn Island at 11:14. So at around 4 o'clock, there is a call to the Coast Guard about the boat. NBC News got a hold of it.
We're sinking. Can y'all please come?
And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's on board.
Everybody's on board. So does that mean Nolan is on there?
Right.
Who was on that boat? At 4:31, the boat leaves Horn Island and it is towed approximately 3 miles, and then the tow ends. So after 3 miles, they go back to the original dock, okay? They arrive at 5:44 p.m. So it looks like this is where Horn Island is, and this is where the original dock is that I am referring to. I looked it up, and El Camino Real Road is in Gulf Hills, Mississippi, which is right above Ocean Springs. So I'm wondering if this is the house where they got the phone. Now, the boat travels to Fort Bayou. At 6:06, the boat returns to the original dock. Then, from the original dock, the boat goes back to Fort Bayou, and then they go to the boat launch, and it is put onto the trailer and moved by the vehicle. Did they drop people off at the original dock, travel to Fort Bayou, pick somebody up, and go back to that original dock? And then from there, why was there an hour and 13-minute time gap? This boat was sinking hours before, and then they're just having it docked for an hour and 13 minutes. You would think they'd want to get that boat out of the water ASAP.
That's from the Real TikTok Detective and from NBC. So it doesn't sound to me, Dave Mack, that the boat was sinking, because they're going all over in the boat. So if the boat's not sinking, why the sea tow call? Why the distress call?
Yeah, Nancy, the one thing you have to remember on that first sea tow call, you hear them saying, we're in 30 feet of water, we're sinking, we need to be unsank and towed. But if you follow along with that communication, the sea tow company reaches out to a local captain nearby and says, hey, we've got...
Okay, and that don't mean they was telling the truth, man. This was all a alibi, I believe. All a alibi. Because they know Nolan was no longer with us. And they had to all come together and get their story together before they call anybody. Okay? Anybody could say anything. That don't mean it's true. That don't mean that.
A boat, can you go take a look? And the captain nearest to the boat says, hey, I just got a call from the owner of that boat. He says they've resolved the problem and don't need us anymore. So, and this happened during the course of 10.
And that's because they probably knew Nolan was on that boat, allegedly. And they didn't want that captain to see Nolan on that goddamn boat. So they had to call it off. But by them calling saying they needed help, that was an alibi to make their story look good, like they were sinking and they needed help. Okay? And all the noise in the background, do this, do that, and blah, 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 blah. All that was just a stuff off. I'm so glad, I know when shit ain't right and shit is right. Anybody can do shit nowadays to stuff off. Look how many crimes and shit be going on all across the world, and people do stuff for a stuff off and lie about and saying they was here, they was there. They talked to this person, they talked to that person. People stage alibis when shit like this happen.
Minutes, Nancy. So they're calling for help and then not calling for help. So something was definitely going on with this Triton 21-footer that they cannot explain.
They can't explain it because it's a lie.
So you want to start a podcast, but you're not sure how.
Shit.
Riverside's got you.
You can
covered.
never
First,
explain
go to
a lie,
riverside.com and open an account. And when you're ready to record, just hit the record button to capture high quality video and audio.
Hi, guys. American homeowners. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate with out today. Use promo fraud from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. With me now is Todd Shipley, digital expert. Todd, listen to this.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Angles? Hello?
When someone did something to somebody in an
yes.
incident like this, when someone is unalive, they're going to work hard to keep their story together until a smart person that's in law enforcement crack that story and know they are lying. Okay? A smart person that really want this case solved, not a person that's in law enforcement and trying to cover up. But when a real person that's doing their job, that's into law enforcement, they're going to keep letting them lie. And because they know they lying, and they're going to get them eventually. But when a person that's in law enforcement and they're helping cover this up, they're never going to see the truth for what it really is. Believe me.
How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Joining us tonight, Todd Shipley, digital cyber crime expert, former Detective Sergeant Reno, 25 years in law enforcement, and author of Surviving a Cyber Attack, and author of Investigating Internet Crimes, Solving Crimes in Cyberspace. You can find Todd at darkintel.com.
We can start to begin to forensically look at the audio to try to figure out and pull out the voices in the background. Because the question is, what are the people saying in the background, and what exactly?
And you know what, y'all? Some of these people have been in law enforcement for so long, so many decades, and they are so blind to this case. And again, why? Because it's a cover-up. Okay, they know it's loopholes. They see the lies. They hear the lies, but they trying to cover up. Okay? That's what they're doing.
Are they doing? What sounds are in the background? Are they actually at the place that they say they are based on noise in the background and other things that are happening? So, I mean, we can look at a lot of those other things within the audio itself to try to identify what's there and what these people are saying. Pull out those individual quotes and try to isolate them based on what they're saying and slow it down, speed it up, that kind of thing, and pull out the background noise so that there's nothing else, so we can just isolate those things. There's several things that can be done with this.
Todd Shipley, if you had this audio, what would you do digitally to clean it up, enhance it, and isolate it?
Well, as I said, there's some of the things that we can do is we can isolate the different tones, the different signal pieces that are coming through there in the audio. We can take that and isolate the individual people that are in there and try to identify who they are. And that's done digitally. We can actually just isolate the different streams that are there and pull out those different audio pieces.
To all the members of the panel, I want you to listen carefully to this without reading the transcription. One more time.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
What you don't know if you're
Todd
sinking.
Shipley,
This is your life.
the words
You
a
got
man
all
saying,
these people on
wait,
this boat. It's in your hands. Their life is in your hands, and you don't know how much water coming in a damn boat. Let's get realistic here. None of y'all was sinking. All y'all is a liar. All y'all need to be in jail immediately.
the F up. I can discern that without reading it on the transcript. Where you hear someone say, OMG, I can make that out. I can make out what I think is don't die. They're screaming. What can you make out of this? Because if this is real, this changes the course of the investigation, Todd Shipley.
Well, it definitely does, and those are the things that we want to focus on. So we would look at adjusting the gain, taking out the static noise. We use tools to filter out different parts of the speech so that we can isolate that's being said and try to adjust it and make it more understandable. So there's editing techniques that we can use to try to figure out exactly what's being said, because that items in the foreground of the audio being the two people speaking on the phone are what we want to remove. We want to get to those other conversations in the background and try to isolate those by reducing the static that's there and adjusting the gain higher so we can understand what's being said better.
I don't quite get it. To Elliot Connie, psychotherapist and author. If items have been doctored, like the pictures I was describing earlier, where a young man was face down on the beach getting beaten by a group of guys, it's not Nolan. I'm not sure the incentive for pouring gas on the flame, but we have to listen to this and we have to try and discern the truth.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I share your confusion. Like, people want to believe that this was an accidental drowning, to the point where anybody asking any questions is experiencing massive amounts of hate online, including Nolan's mother and family and father. And I think it's really important to ask these questions. To the point of the audio that we've been watching, there actually is a version of this that a sound engineer has done exactly what Todd was just talking about, removing the foreground noise and enhancing the background noise. Wake the F up, Nolan. And the very one thing that you can clearly hear in all of these versions is them screaming Nolan, which, to your point, would turn this investigation in a very different direction just by knowing that Nolan was on that boat. And I think it's important that we ask these questions. I'm so glad that you are on top of this, because we need people like you with your platform that don't look like people like me advocating for truth, because people have such a motivation to protect these kids. And I don't fully understand it when the motivation should be pursuing justice and truth.
Speaking of attacks on Nolan's mother, listen.
Yeah, it's on my son. Yeah, we being threatened and we being attacked, and You know, well, so is Nolan and mother.
¿Ha tenido un accidente?
And they're fine.
Comuníquese con las oficinas
Okay,
legales
so
de
what are you
Brandon
talking
J.
about?
Roderick, con un equipo dedicado a accidentes.
The only question that we have is what happened to our son. That is the only question. We have consistently been degraded by the public. There's been questions about our parenting, our GoFundMe, this, that, and other. I've been called a racist. I am a healthcare provider, and I take my job very seriously. I love everyone.
Not only is Nolan's family getting death threats, reportedly, but so are the so-called friends that were on the boat.
Well, I mean, with everything going on social media right now, with people saying the crazy things that they're saying, I would never want to take the attention off of Nolan and his family. They don't deserve that. And, you know, for own personal reasons, I mean, I've gotten thousands of death threats. My family's got thousands of death threats. I couldn't bring myself to go because, you know, I got to put my own safety first.
His mama
and
didn't want you there anyway.
You know, missing my friend's funeral. I mean, it's horrible, and I wish I could have been there, but you know, that's what's been going on. You know,
that is from the Officer Tatum show. Not only that, apparently law enforcement is getting threatened.
Our community is grieving the tremendous loss of Nolan Wells, who is loved and treasured by everyone. Nolan's family deserves answers, and our community deserves answers. Every death in the county, except those of natural causes and non-criminal car wrecks, are presented to your grand jury. Many people don't know that.
And if y'all want justice for Nolan, well, then who's going back telling TMZ that they got proof that Nolan was on the island by himself at 6:30? Do you know that TMZ put that thing out and said that? Who did he get that from?
We have handled death investigations in this manner my entire career. Nolan's case is being handled the same way, with the same care and the same commitment to the truth that we handle all death investigations. I understand the public's urgency to know what happened to Nolan, but we are not taking time for time's sake. We are taking the time required to complete the work this investigation demands. Since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating what happened to him.
Hi guys, Nancy Grace here. Please join us on Crime Stories with exclusive interviews, crime with real-time analysis. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Stream it first on Fox 1. I hope to see you there, and thank you, friend.
Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence. The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. Our responsibility to Nolan and our community is to complete this investigation thoroughly, carefully.
Well, then stop telling TMZ stuff. Stop telling them that, because they revealing y'all, whoever he's talking to. Again, he said he got photos from y'all stating that Nolan was there at 6:30 is proof. So if y'all working around the clock and y'all want respect for the family, y'all giving respect for the family, as you say, well, then why is TMZ knowing so much? TMZ should not even be talking to no type of authorities about anything. He's just a news reporter. That's all he needs to stand his ground as being a fake ass news reporter, liars. That's what they all do over there. You know, just tell lies. Make the family look bad.
Without compromise, supported by the evidence and worthy of the confidence of the people we serve.
That is the elected district attorney in that jurisdiction. Apparently, everyone is getting threatened and attacked. That's not a very good climate in which to do your job, is it, Dr. Thomas Coyne, the chief medical examiner out of Tallahassee, District 8, toxicologist, pathologist, and neuropathologist? because everybody's taking heat. They're probably afraid to even walk to their car.
It does sound like a tinderbox out there. Yeah, no, I would. I certainly wouldn't want to be involved in that investigation myself as well. So these can get pretty heated pretty
Dr.
quickly.
Coyne, sadly, you're getting dragged into it right now. Dr. Coyne, I need to talk to you about the body. And I'm going to circle back, everybody, to the Katie, the mystery Katie girl on Horn Island. Her sister spoke out on her behalf. Okay. And there's a problem with that, too. There is a discrepancy with that. But before I get to that, Dr. Thomas Coyne, thank you for being with us tonight. And yes, repeat, we're dragging you into it. Dr. Coyne, I understand why Nolan Wells's lungs were removed from his body and that the second examiner did not have them. He cannot complete his independent autopsy because he can't look at the lungs. I'm sure the doctor is looking at the lungs in Mississippi because they think you drowned. But why the throat? Why has the initial medical examiner kept the throat?
Well, I'll say anytime that you investigate a drowning, it's considered to be a diagnosis of exclusion, right? So you have to figure out why a person went into the water in the first place and why they couldn't get out. And let's assume, in this case, there was trauma that happened to a person or something that prevented him from getting out of the water. Well, if there was, let's say, a battery or a fight that occurred perhaps with injury to him and to his person, if a person, let's say, was maybe strangled or there was injury to the neck, if a person's been in the body of water for several days, especially floating face down, there's probably going to be some considerable decomposition. And one of the ways that we determine if there's trauma to the neck or if there's been, like, say, strangulation, is if there are hemorrhage in the neck muscles surrounding the airway, and if there's fractures to the cartilage and bones that are within the neck. But if there's some considerable decomposition, the blood that's within the major neck vessels can begin to leak out into the surrounding muscles and make it very difficult for you to differentiate actual hemorrhage from artifact of decomposition. So what they may be doing is preserving the neck itself to digest away all of those tissues, to really examine the bones, the highway bone, and the tracheal cartilage to get a better idea of whether or not there's any trauma or fracturing to those structures. That's the only thing I can think of that why you would want to keep those particular structures. Understand that there's no significant or no specific finding at autopsy that allows you to diagnose drowning, even the lungs. So the lungs may have evidence of, fresh water or salt water, looking under the microscope, but you can't tell whether that was active or passive movement of water into the lungs, if this is a body that was thrown into the water after death or a person who actively drowned. And so I don't know why they're saving the lungs, but the neck structures, I can make the argument that they're trying to get a better look at the neck cartilage as well as the bone, the highway bone in the neck.
We quilt this city.
I've known it all along.
So, Dr. Coyne, that was a lot. But two things jump out at me. Number one, are you telling me that the neck, Nolan Wells's neck, may have been retained by the initial medical examiner because the medical examiner cannot tell the difference in a bruise or damage in life, such as a fight, a strangulation, can't tell that from blood diffusion post-mortem during decomp?
Yes, there's that's one of the possible reasons. Your neck muscles have a lot of what's called myoglobin, red proteins that are present within the tissue. You have the blood that's within the jugular and carotid arteries that are along those muscles in your neck. Decomposition can discolor everything red, can allow movement of blood into tissue. And so if there is some confusion about whether or not hemorrhage in tissue is due to decomposition or due to actual injury, they may do a deeper look at those structures. And so that could include microscopic sections, taking actual tissue sections from that area, looking at it under a microscope, and perhaps also removing all tissues from those structures to just look at the cartilage.
That's a lot of words, Coyne. I like you, Dr. Coyne. I respect you, but
nasty be going.
Just as a yes, no. If I can even form the question accurately, are you telling me the medical examiner, the initial medical examiner, may have kept Nolan's throat because he can't tell the difference in an attack on the neck versus decomp, blood dispersion during decomp?
If there was significant decomposition, that may be one of the reasons. I've never.
All right. So I'm taking that. Yes, that could be it.
So yes, absolutely. I can't think of any other reason. In drowning, sometimes you have less than 10% of drownings. There's the hypothetical dry drowning where a person can have a spasm of the neck muscles once you swallow water. But there's no physical finding that you could look at autopsy that would prove that. So I can't imagine they would save the neck for that reason. The only reason I can think of is that they're looking at the underlying structures a little more clearly.
So I don't think I need my medical degree, and I don't think I have to be the chief medical examiner in District 8 there in state of Florida to figure out the first medical examiner kept his throat for a reason. What is the reason? Why the throat? Why not the foot? Why not the hand? Why the throat? There's something about the throat that the medical examiner is concerned about. You just heard Coyne explain it very clinically and in depth. I want to ask you something else. Can I see Dr. Coyne, please? Dr. Coyne, we were just showing you autopsy results, and it's from the second medical exam, the second doctor. That's it. Thank you, control room. On the back of Nolan's neck is deep subcutaneous reddening of the tissue. I've had one doctor who I respect highly tell me that was pooling of the blood post-mortem. Well, I don't buy that because it wasn't pooled anywhere else on his body, on his back. So why there? It's not pooling. I don't believe that. Then somebody else said, oh, that happened because his head was on the block at autopsy. Well, the block at autopsy is usually 4 by 13. That is 8 by 12. Plus, that doesn't make sense. You don't bruise post-mortem. So there would not be markings on his body from the autopsy. You can't bruise after you're dead. Your blood's not pumping.
No, that's not correct. It's not bruising. It's this red discoloration. If it was actual hemorrhage or hemorrhage in the tissue, which is a bruise, then they would have called it hemorrhage in the tissue. They're calling it red discoloration. When a body, especially a decomposing body, is on its back, it has to get transported from wherever the body is recovered to the autopsy facility. It remains in the autopsy facility until the autopsy is performed. Then the head is cut open to reflect the scalp back. So first of all, if there was significant hemorrhage there, the first autopsy should have noted that. I don't know what their findings are, but understand that virtue, the process of reflecting the scalp to open the head and then sending the body off to do that second autopsy can also contribute to discoloration just from drying artifact. But when a body lays on its back, especially a body, if there's significant post-mortem interval, yeah, you can certainly have red discoloration just from leakage of both skeletal muscle proteins as well as blood from all the capillaries and blood vessels back here. And it stains the tissue, and very common to get it on the back of your head. You can also get it on your back, but mind you, they're not reflecting the
he's
the back
scared, open
to look at those tissues in the back.
He's scared.
But they are
See,
opening
when
the
you
head.
go on Nancy Grace show,
And so
she be
that's
coming at
probably
you
why you
hard.
only see that red discoloration reported there.
At Abra Dental, we make every visit warm and welcoming. Book today at abradental.com.
I ain't buying it. I'm not buying it.
The Hyundai
Got to
Getaway
come
Sales
down.
Event is here at Route 1 Hyundai. Lease a new 2026
Don't
Elantra SEL Sport for only $125 a month, or lease a 2026 Palisade SEL for $3.
I believe you're saying, I'm trying to interpret this from a layperson's point of view, that out of his whole body, he had blood settling on the back of his head at his occipital?
They're only looking at the back of his head, right? They're not opening up his back. When they do the autopsy performed by a Y incision that's created in front, and those tissues are reflected backwards. They're saying that's red discoloration because it's different color from the normal color of the occipital bone. They're also, from that photo, they're just putting red marker across the back of the occipital bone.
Dr. Coyne, to me, that didn't settle anything. But we can't settle anything because we don't have the full autopsy. So we're like the 5 blind guys feeling different parts of the elephant, trying to figure out what is it. Okay, we can't sign off until we address the Katie issue. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Alexis Tereszchuk, Crime Stories investigative reporter, but the friends on the boat say Nolan wanted to stay behind because of a girl he just met named Katie. Katie has been found, and she says no. He said he was leaving with his friends.
100%.
Do I have that much right?
100%.
Okay.
You have that exactly
Let's
right.
take a look at what Katie's sister says. Put it up on the screen, please. Katie had a conversation, assumed Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat that he came out in. Katie made it home. She was on another boat, different people, blah, 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 blah. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat would not have left
all that line
him.
shit.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories. What is Katie stating through her sister?
She is saying that Nolan did not stay with her on Horn Island, that she thought he was going back with the same people he came with. And by the way, got to add this, Nancy, Katie McCormick has been working with investigators, has been fully cooperative with them, the Wells family, and she says flat out that he did not stay with her. He went back.
Back with who?
Hi, guys. Nancy Grace here. If you are a homeowner, you've probably thought, should I call American Financing to refinance and pay off this debt?
Okay, y'all, that was the end of Nancy. Is she really telling the investigators that, y'all? Is she really telling the investigators that, no, he did not stay on the boat with me? He said he was going back on the boat with the rest of them. Or did she switch up her story? Because we don't know what she really said. We don't know what she really said, right? Because it seems to me she on their side. I don't trust Katie. Hold on, y'all. I don't even trust Katie, y'all. Hell no, I don't trust Katie. Now, let's listen at this little live, this little part. I think this was... I'm trying to see the one with TMZ. Oh, I think I can't see that one. So just listen at this, y'all. Hold on. All right. I'm gonna play the good part of it.
Maybe that's not the right way to put it. Maybe from people whose job to make one professional object.
Okay, hold on.
Off the screen. She said, oh, you make me even more authentic, because I'm just like, you know, this show, I've always thought this show is mine. I can do whatever I want, because you do whatever you want with your show, and I do love it. And you look good. Stop looking at yourself. You look good. Okay. Good morning. You okay?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Look, thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's listen to this. I want to play this. Andy, first, this is the audio engineer, what she put out overnight. First, Andy, the latest one, which is a statement. Her name is Janetta Brantley, okay? And so she put out this statement overnight, and she said, and if you put it up there, make it, I want to be able to read it off the screen. She said, okay, here is the 5.
Now, y'all, the statement that he's reading, I know y'all not seen it trending. This lady has a big platform on Facebook, Instagram, probably TikTok too. And she has a degree in what she does. So she broke down the audio and took out everything else and just left in what she heard them saying on the boat, right? And everybody was coming for her, y'all. Everybody was coming for that lady. If y'all know who I'm talking about. Everybody was coming for her. But let's listen.
Minute isolated version of the CETO call. I stopped the audio at the point where Vicky with CETO International begins connecting with the captain who had just gotten off the phone with the boat's owner and the caller's grandfather. Nothing was added to this recording. The purpose of the processing was simply to make the audio already present in the original recording easier to hear. I strongly recommend listening with headphones. Listen carefully and come to your own conclusion about what you hear. Unlike my previous video, I intentionally did not include my interpretation or transcription on the background dialogue. I want everyone to listen for themselves without being influenced by what I hear. I also want to make one professional observation. I think this is important as well. After spending roughly 24 hours working closely with this audio, I could hear what appear to be processing artifacts that suggest the recording may have already been cleaned, processed, or otherwise adjusted before the version I obtained was released. I cannot confirm that, so I am not presenting it as fact. It is simply an observation based on what I hear in the audio. For my version, I kept the processing minimal, gain adjustments, and subtractive EQ. No AI enhancement, no generated dialogue, nothing added. This is the full 5-minute clip I processed. Put your headphones on, listen closely, and judge for yourself. My heart remains with the Wells family. Justice for Nolan, Wells, and then she goes on with her hashtags. Okay, overnight. Before she put it out yesterday, this is what she said in part.
You'll also notice time code and dialogue written on the side of the screen and pop up during each segment. That dialogue represents what I personally hear as an audio engineer while processing and repeatedly reviewing these sections. I'm pretty much providing it as a listening reference, not as a declaration that my interpretation is the only possible interpretation. And that's important. I want you to listen for yourself, use headphones if you have them, listen closely and decide with your own ears what you believe is being said. You can also return to the original unprocessed recording and compare directly with what you're hearing here.
Okay, so Quentin, does this change anything that you thought about it? Is exactly what you did think? Or is it what you're hearing from your subscribers? Because I'm hearing people thinking this is the actual transcription and they're going, this is actually it, but we're not sure yet. I do know what I hear. I do hear some words extremely clearly. And if you want to listen to it, we can, but go on. What do you think?
So I think that this 9,000,000% confirms what many people have already felt, right? And I definitely appreciate, how you opened this up in reference to it being an interpretation. Listen for yourself. I think I'm hearing this. I may not be hearing that. But I want to add to this conversation, Don, at the end of the day, as it relates to this relationship, it's here nor there, the specifics of what we think we may be hearing or not being hearing. Unequivocally, what it does confirm is conspiracy to cover up something. Unequivocally, whether you hear a Nolan wake up, and maybe I didn't hear that, but I heard a damn it Bart, but maybe I didn't hear that. What it does confirm is that those people on that boat knew something, did something, and are not being forthright with the police and the general public. That for fact, any rational, reasonable, sane person should be able to deduce that from that audio if they are of the belief that that audio is actually real.
And you know what? I don't think people realize is when they call a service like that. Sometimes when you call a service or emergency 911, they're recording you before they even pick up the phone.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that they were not anticipating.
Okay, guys, the ones that was in my chat yesterday, didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I say that yesterday? I said that. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I said that yesterday. You're being recording before they pick it up. And they didn't realize that. But the one was in my chat yesterday, I said that.
Payton, you couldn't scrub that. They couldn't scrub that clean.
You think that obviously they didn't realize it. So do you think that, my interpretation, this is what I thought, and look, this is just me filling in the gaps in my head, is that they were leaving the shore and maybe he was back waiting on the shore or trying to catch up or something happened and they were like, bye, Nolan, or whatever. And I don't know, maybe there's something happened and he fell off, they pushed off. I don't know. But that's what I was thinking. And then all of a sudden they realized like, oh shit, is he dead? Or that's what I was thinking in my head. Now, I don't know if that's not corroborated. That's just a scenario that's coming up in my head. And it's coming up because investigators aren't saying anything. Mm-hmm. They're not even trying to bat down information that is wrong, mm-hmm. right? Or they're not even, I don't know how much they were asking for public help in the beginning, mm-hmm. but it doesn't seem like they're even doing that now.
So it's funny, right? Because I saw the video last night. Very pretty white woman from Mississippi. I can't remember her position. I don't know if she's from the DA's office or some type of other governmental position, where she was saying, we here in Mississippi, we want justice for Nolan. We want justice for all of our residents. And please understand that we are in the middle of an active investigation. And just because we may not be saying X, Y, Z to the general public does not mean that the questions are not being asked, so on and so forth. And I definitely can somehow kind of get on board with what she's saying. I think the bigger issue is the fact that we, as the public, especially as the Black community, we have a general distrust for law enforcement, and not to mention, this investigation has reeked of cover-up from the very beginning, especially with the sheriff coming forth before the investigation really was underway, saying that we don't suspect foul play. That was very premature of him. But, Don, there is a world possibly where they are asking the questions and taking down the reports, and they just have not said anything to us. Because, I don't know, they don't want people to start tampering with evidence, or maybe they don't want them to know what direction they're going in. All we can do is try to have faith in law enforcement during this process. However, I definitely think that social media, the public scrutiny and pressure that's been placed on Mississippi, as well as what this sound engineer has brought forth, has definitely changed the direction of this investigation. If it was going in a direction of cover-up or conspiracy, now she's definitely busted wide open, and something's definitely going to have to be done.
What do you hear? You said that, I want you to be more specific, because you said that you hear something, maybe you don't.
Open book, I know you lying. Open book, I know you lying. I know you lying, open book. I know you lying. What in the world?
Hear Nolan wake up or whatever, but when I listen to it, there are words, because I had Charles on from TMZ yesterday, and we listened to it without the transcript, and there are, so you can hear certain words that are in the transcript. But Andy, let's play it if you have it.
With the transcript or without?
Just listen to it, either one, whichever one, or with or without.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn.
So I hear cover up, is he dead? And something like we're about to die or something. I do hear that.
I do too.
So I hear Nolan, wake up. I hear damn it. I hear Izzy dead. I hear
I heard that.
Now I've heard clearer versions than the one that you just played, Don, for whatever. I've heard a clearer version than that. But I definitely hear Izzy dead, Nolan, damn it, and I hear the word cover up. That right there, Don, is enough for me to deduce at a minimum the voices, whenever he made that call, whoever that is, whoever was around, whoever made the call to Cito, y'all were panicking. Why were y'all back there saying, damn it? Why were y'all screaming Nolan? Who was that said, is he dead? Who was that used the word cover up? If I was an investigator, I would definitely need to speak to whoever was on that boat, surrounded by whoever made that phone call, to ask them what they know, because you definitely know something.
Facts.
So that one was from the newest one. Look, and listen to it on this thing. If you're listening to it on the TV or whatever, you got to get the headphones. You got to listen to it very closely. But I do hear certain words. I do hear certain words.
Don.
So look,
I'm with you, baby.
I don't know.
I'm with you.
But I'll tell you what I found very interesting, Mr. Quentin, is that I was watching you yesterday, and you laid down the gauntlet for someone, and I just want to play it because I think it's it's important. Here it is.
And again, I cannot wait until I hope that Don Lemon brings Daniel Grimes' ass back on that show tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock so I can get his ass together and run him through the ringer around the world in Ayaya, because this is what I was trying to explain to Daniel when I was on Don's show. And this is all of what we knew. We all knew. So now what do y'all got to say?
Daniel Grimes joins us. Daniel, what do you have to say now for yourself?
Why do I feel like you're Linda McMahon, WWE, introducing me? We've got The Rock versus The Undertaker. I don't know. Maybe I'm showing my age there. But nice to see you. Good morning.
Likewise. Good morning.
Listen, yesterday when I heard the audio, and I don't know if you got a chance to watch Funky, I even said, if I am hearing what I think I'm hearing, I think it's damning evidence of those kids. And I heard Nolan, I heard Izzy dead. But again, I think Don can attest to this. As a reporter, we are taught to divorce our emotions from the facts. And so I know also that it's garbled, that we really cannot confirm. I think there are things in there that we can confirm. We heard.
Stop saying we can't confirm, because we're not crazy. Some people just say.
I think there are a few words that are 100% confirmed. And so because of that, I was so concerned when I heard this. And again, I said this on the show yesterday, this would be damning evidence if what I'm hearing is true. I texted Brian Thrasher, who's with United Cajun Navy, and I said, listen, I spoke to TMZ. They said that Nolan was not on the boat with his friends, but then we have this audio where he may or may not have been. What is the truth? And we also heard TMZ said that they spoke to more than 60 people who confirmed that Nolan was still on the island when the people left. So again, I said, what's the truth? And Brian told me, and again, he's there on the ground. You, me, Don, we're all not there in Mississippi. Brian said he's on the ground, and he said, we can confirm that Nolan was not on the boat when the friends left, and that eyewitnesses who were there told Brian and the team that Nolan was seen alive as late as 5:45 p.m. Now, Warren, one of the friends, has given interviews to say that they left at 4:30. So there seems to be this hour and 15 minutes that are unaccounted for. If you believe these eyewitnesses who saw Nolan alive, again, I just don't know. I just want to lastly say, I think I'm glad that you all talked about the investigation, because we can all agree that there seems to be something fishy, a cover up. I think we all.
So TMZ should have never put the video out, the recording out. Okay, and the boat people should have never gave it to TMZ to put out if they wanted going to be truthful and say what they hear or what they think they hear on that recording. Okay, but don't dictate what other people feel and they hear. Everybody have a right to say what they hear on this recording. Everybody, and stop saying let them do their investigation because they ain't doing shit. I don't believe they're doing nothing. Okay, I believe they're going to come out and say this was a drowning. That's what I believe.
We all agree. Do not trust the state of Mississippi with this investigation. I don't like the fact that the lungs were missing. I don't like the fact that the neck was missing when they had the independent autopsy conducted. And there's an expert who talked about that, who said, listen, the lungs can tell us whether or not he drowned. Because if there's water in the lungs, that can be an indicator that he drowned. If there's no water present, then that means he was dead before he hit the water. So that is the piece. I think us focusing on these young men, it kind of is kind of a smaller point than focusing on the fact that the investigators are withholding information right now, and we should be able to know whether or not the lungs had water present. Why is the throat missing? I think that is really, really the important focus here.
Yeah, no, you're not going to bounce for me with bullshit and get me caught up in the minutia of the details at the time and the this. My question to you, and I want you to take your journalist hat off here. My question to you as a Black man, as a normal citizen of America is, based on the audio that you heard, do you believe that the children that were on that boat know what happened to Nolan? It's a simple yes or no.
Oh, I don't think it's a simple yes or no. I do think if what I am hearing is what I think I am hearing, then I think they know more information than they are letting us believe. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's damning evidence because, again, Dawn started this show by saying we don't know. That even the woman who cleared up the audio for us says this is what I think I'm hearing, but I cannot confirm. So no one has been able to confirm what they think they're hearing. And I think there's a lot of confirmation bias.
Yeah, she said that for herself, not for everybody else.
Their own opinions about this case and their own feelings.
That's what he asked you, but you talked over that.
What do you definitively know?
The only words that I think I can hear, and maybe we can play it again, oh my gosh, and then he starts the call. So maybe if we can play it again, I can pick out more, but I think the oh my gosh.
Andy, Andy, explain the one that you're playing now because she released another one last night that's clearer, right? Correct?
Yeah, it's just as clear as the one she released yesterday. It's just 5 minutes. She extended it. She said she worked for 24 hours on the audio and did what she did with that, like a 1.5-minute version yesterday, and just did 5 minutes worth of editing.
Okay, let's listen.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking.
All right, cool.
Can y'all?
All right.
So Don, let me say this. With all due respect to your show, I don't like the version of this audio that you're playing because the one that I played on my show yesterday that I was able to get from the internet is far more clear than this version. I don't like about this version in this setting, in this context, is that it feels like it's casting doubt upon the audio. That's number one. And that's no shade to you, but I've heard a clearer version of that audio than the one that's being playing in this moment. Secondly, Daniel, what really just makes me uncomfortable with you in this particular situation is just this.
This is not the second time that he came at me.
Reluctance to be like,
I love him though.
They did something to that boy.
Yes,
they
I believe
know what
that.
happened to that boy.
I believe that.
The first appearance, it was, oh, we don't know. Let's wait until we get the evidence. Let's wait until we get the facts. Now we've got what many people consider to be an ace in the hole and a smoking gun. Now it's this, Well, I don't know what we're hearing with the lungs and the time and the this. Listen, with all due disrespect, miss me with the bullshit.
I like him.
Okay? Miss me with it. Common sense overrides all of this fluff and caution. They know what happened to him.
Yes, I believe
They
that.
know what happened to him. Even if you're screaming, "Oh my God, Nolan." Why are you screaming, "Oh my God, Nolan"? At that point, whether he drowned, whether it's water in the lungs, whether the throat is missing, whether his Nike sandal is missing, why are you screaming, "Oh my God, Nolan"? Matters not. You know what happened to him. And even though we can't hear every single specific word, there was panic surrounding Nolan. Why was there panic? What were y'all panicking about? And that is what we need to delve into.
Okay, so
No, hang on one second, Dan. I just want to say. Hold on. Just give me a second. Yeah, you're going to respond. I just want to clear something up. So that is the version that we played for you is the one that was released by the actual audio engineer that she released overnight. If there's a cleaner or a clearer version, please pass it along to us. I'm not aware of that. We thought we were playing the clearer version, so there's no subterfuge here. I thought that was a clearer version, but just text it to me and I'll give it to Andy.
The one from Nancy Grace.
All right. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Daniel. What do you want to say?
Okay, thank you. So the first, I have been consistent here, Funky. I am still saying, I think you have already drawn a conclusion. You drew a conclusion before there were any facts.
Right, Karen,
I believe
right.
You saw that first photo of those 3 white boys and Nolan, and you said those 3 white boys are guilty, and you're not alone. A lot of people drew a conclusion from one photo. I have been consistent in saying, we gotta wait for the facts.
He been calling him out since day
we have to wait for the facts, and that's why I think it's important that we wait for the lungs, because if the lungs don't have any water in them, then that tells me he was murdered. That he didn't drown like the sheriff Ledbetter said he did. That says he was murdered, and so that again is a fact that we have to wait for. Another reason why I think it's important that you follow the facts. It's not minutia. It's important. The timeline, the idea of him saying, and again, Thrasher is a part of this investigation. You are a pontificator, just like I am, just like Don, right? We are not there. We're not collecting evidence or facts. We're talking to people on the ground. He's there. I spoke to him directly. He said people saw him, Nolan, at 5:45. He also confirmed Nolan was not on that boat when the friends left. That tells me that, again, that timeline is important. If Nolan is being seen on the island after the boat.
Okay, that's what he told you. And he don't know that neither. He don't know that neither. He's going by what the friends told him, and he's telling you what the friends told him. He's telling you. So he can't confirm that Nolan was on the boat or not on the boat. And this is what people need to understand. It's always someone saying this. They can't confirm it either. Because they're getting it from someone else also. So, yeah.
Has left. That would tell me, again, if this is true, and I'm not even saying this is true, that would tell me the friends did not murder him. But again,
no, it won't tell you that.
I am not drawing any conclusion. I've been consistent. I'm not saying the boys are innocent or guilty. And I think that's the big difference here. I am waiting until we have more information. And
what are you waiting for them to come out and lie? Are you waiting for them to come out and lie? Because that's exactly what I think they got planned to do. To come out and say they didn't find nothing in no homicide. He was drowned and he had this much liquor in his system and this and that, and you know the red mark in his head came from this. That's what you waiting on? Because I don't think they doing nothing. I think they sitting back looking at everything what's going on social media.
In terms of this audio, in terms of the oh my God and the freaking out, it has been explained. I'm not saying this is true. But because the boat was sinking, that is why they were saying, oh my God. That is why they were freaking out. It was because the boat is sinking. Again, I'm not saying that's true or not true. I am just.
Have you ever thought about maybe they was lying to cover everything up? That's why they lied and called the people, said the boat was sinking. The boat really wasn't sinking. Well, one thing I would like to know again, who was the people that rescued them? Where is those people? Why haven't those people spoke out? And if they did, maybe I missed something. Correct me, y'all. If the people spoke out and said, yes, we went there at this time, we did rescue them, we brought them back to safety, we got the other boat towed, we did not see Nolan on the boat. Where is those people? Where is the picture of Nolan was left on the out at 6:30? Is this picture of people that he stayed out there with? Is it a picture of the boat that he's supposed to have been got on when he was going to leave with the people? What was they doing the time that you left Nolan? Okay. And if Nolan did stay and all this stuff, I'm saying, why didn't y'all give Nolan his phone when he was going to stay back with his friends, just in case he needed his phone for an emergency? And it was not your phone to keep anyway. Like, make all this shit make sense to me.
Just saying we need more information. And I am saying I don't think it's okay that you or anybody else has drawn a conclusion about anything until we have more information.
Let me tell you what friends do of people who drowned. They show up to the funeral. They show up to the funeral. Just that simple. You keep talking about all of this information that we need, and what I'm trying to express to you instinctually is that there is so much information that's being laid out in front of us. Daniel, if me, you, Don, we went out.
Exactly. I never believed that
we decided to leave you behind.
I don't believe that neither.
And your body washes up and your family is somewhere grieving. Me and Don are calling your mother and we're saying, do you need us to bring anything to the repast? What do you need? We are riding behind the family in the family car. We are at the funeral. We are at the repast.
Right.
We are
even though the mother says she didn't know y'all or whatever, if y'all still loved Nolan, y'all still would have did whatever y'all can do. Okay. And I definitely believe that. I think Nolan was deceased, taken from the island and brought to the land later at that night. Someone else said that too. I don't think they were rescued, and they didn't leave the boat. Was told at all. I believe everything about the boat. I said that. But these people ain't gonna, some of these slow people ain't gonna look at it like that. Well, they did call, they did seem like they had problems on the boat. They was panicking and everything, no, they was lying and everything. They called the lady because that was an alibi for them, because they knew this shit was gonna go viral all over the world, all over the internet, and they needed this alibi. And some of these people is doing exactly what they knew they was going to do and say. They had an alibi. They called and say they needed help. They were sinking. But from day one, when I started covering this story, I said I did not believe they were sinking. That was a cover-up. I said it from day one. But you got people that's going to believe that they were sinking. And if they were sinking, why did he hang up on the lady when the lady tried to switch him over to talk to the guy? She came back on the other line and he was gone. If they were sinking, make it make sense.
We are on the front lines of CNN saying, we want justice for our friend Daniel. We want to know what happened. We are on Instagram. We are crying. We are writing paragraphs of, we're upset. What happened to our friend? I mean, that is normal human behavior, Daniel, when a friend has died. You guys keep throwing around this word friend, my friend, my friend.
Exactly. I'm sick of hearing that shit.
If my friend died, Daniel, and I had nothing to do with it, and I'm calling this person my best friend, I show up to their funeral and I'm putting my hand on my best friend's mom's shoulders and I'm saying, I will be there for you. These behaviors are suspicious. Taken singularly, all of these things can be scrutinized until the cows come home.
He absolutely said 3 votes.
Collectively, when
Absolutely.
you begin to put them together, I may not know specifically what happened. I may not know it in detail, but I think any reasonable human being can draw the conclusion that at a minimum, they know what happened and they were involved.
And I'm not saying
And I'll add to that. Stand by. I will add to that. You don't go on to somebody's show who hates black people who is black, but
Facts.
I shouldn't say hates black people, who is black, but talks smack about black people all the time. That's
right.
Who you choose to do an interview with.
Right.
That's also telling to me. Okay. I'm glad we're having this. Is a great conversation. Hang on. We're not done yet. So this is a great conversation. We have the video that you talked about, and I'm being told by my engineer here, or my technical director, that it is clear, and perhaps they used AI to clean it up even more. We're going to listen to that, and we're also going to bring in 2 more thought leaders to join Daniva here. Daniva, this is a great conversation. Thank you for being here. This is what we should be, how we should be discussing this. So first, a word from our sponsor, and then we're back. We're going to listen to the audio, and we're going to have even more conversation. You ever look around at the way the world works and you think,
oh yeah, they knew that wasn't sinking. Hell yeah, they knew that shit.
People work harder, they pay more, they earn less. Get it for free. Okay, let me bring in now, as we're here with Quentin Latham, aka Funky Daniva, I want to bring in Reese Colbert, who's a friend of the show and the host of the Reese Colbert Show. Also, Clay Kane is here, journalist, author, and Sirius XM host. They also have a show coming up. It is in Atlanta this week, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
No, it's in DC, baby. It's in DC.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right.
Yeah, you, Molly, you in danger, girl. Reese down. Oh, baby, you in trouble.
Okay, so here is the video that you mentioned. You said it was on Nancy's show. Now, I would take it that they enhanced, but from the original audio engineer who enhanced it, she said she did not use AI techniques. She used minimal because she wanted it to be as minimally touched as possible. And this is the one that Daniva's talking about. Listen.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and
so
our bilge pump
the rest is, you know, the call. The bilge pump is going out. All right, so that one is okay. So who should go first? Reese gone.
Well, you know, there's so much disinformation and misinformation that spreads. There's so much unsourced material. So when I did see the audio engineer who worked on that video, I felt a lot more comfortable reacting to it because I saw it being sourced as from the Mississippi department, which it wasn't. It was enhanced audio. So I think that if you take the credibility of the woman and explain her process that she explained, she's an award-winning audio producer, audio engineer, then I think that you have to really
Y'all don't put kill in the chat. Put unalive in the chat. I'm gonna have to delete that comment because I can't have that comment in the chat. You have to put unalive in the chat. So I have to remove that comment. But next time, don't put that in the chat. Do I got a mod in the chat to remove that comment?
Seriously take this as evidence that perhaps foul play was involved. It didn't say exactly how something may have happened to Nolan, but it certainly seems that he was on that boat if you believe that audio. And so it's incredibly disturbing, but it does paint a picture into something may have happened. I mean, the words cover up were specifically used in that. And so I hope that you know, that the authorities are looking at this. There's a grand jury, and I hope that we get some answers.
Clay?
Well, first and foremost, Daniel, I hope you did your Tina Marie research. I sent you Tina Marie link, so I'm hoping that you did. Hope you did your research now so we can make a reference.
You two this weekend.
Okay, I hope you did your Tina. I had to give him a little bit of homework. You know how I feel about that. Let me say this. to Daniel's point earlier, that, and I'm paraphrasing here, you said it a few minutes ago, that you said focusing on the friends or the kids who were there, you were saying that's more so a distraction and we have to focus on the evidence. Do I have that right? Is that what you said, more or less? Okay.
And the investigation and the investigators. Yeah.
Gotcha. But I disagree with that. We got to focus on the friends.
Oh, yeah, he don't
We got to
play.
focus on the people who were there.
He don't play. He would tell you
That
up.
is the heart of the evidence. That is the heart of any true crime series. Who are the people who are there? What's happening? What is this cover up? I mean, it reminds me of when Trayvon Martin was killed. I remember the audio came out of his shooting, and people were trying to decipher everything, and he was on the phone with one of his friends.
Yeah.
I mean, they grilled her. I mean, we heard bizarre audio with George Zimmerman. I mean, from what I heard, I want to see a deeper investigation. Is an arrest possible? I don't know. But the idea that we're going to put the people who may have saw him last when he was alive, to put that on the back burner.
Queen, that's what I said at the beginning of my live. I said the same exact thing that you put in that chat. I said that too. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a good idea, brother. I don't think it is. Now, I understand what you're saying. We can't jump the gun. I'm not doing that. But from what I heard in the audio, I ain't jumping guns. The gun is pretty loud. Yeah. So I just want to be clear that the last people who saw him alive, they have the answers. Mm-hmm. And I want to see a proper investigation.
Yeah.
And here we are again, where once again, people who are not part of the investigation, and maybe there are things that have come up on the low that we don't know about. Fair enough. We're not right there every millisecond. But here we are again, people who are not even part of the investigation, revealing information that it appears, could be wrong, that the folks in Mississippi have not figured out. And this goes to the heart of Black journalism, Black media. We're going to figure it out. So I want to really lean into this whole idea that focusing on the kids is the wrong angle. I mean, they're going up there, pop dipping and spinning with that guy, freaking officer, whatever, doing interviews, going to the scene where he was last alive, going there. They are the very heart of this investigation, of what happened. I mean, have they been, maybe I missed it in all the news. Have they been interrogated? Have they been, I've seen people brought in on lesser accusations. So not only is it the lack of transparency, it appears, I could be wrong, protection. And that's frustrating.
But can I add on to that point? This isn't a persecution. It's an investigation. In the investigation, you turn over every corner. And that's what is happening. And it seems like the more thorough investigating is happening with half of the information, with the external information. And these guys are putting themselves on Front Street. If you don't want to be part of the story, don't be part of the fucking story. What are you doing on Brandon Tatum's show?
Lord,
you lawyered up immediately, which was actually smart to do. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I want Black people to lawyer up quickly too. Okay, even if it's your friend, if it's your cousin, if it's whoever the fuck, because y'all get thrown in jail for shit you didn't do all the time because you don't lawyer up. So I ain't even got a problem with the fact that they lawyered up, but then they went from lawyering up to now you kicking it and kicking on podcasts and shit. You want to be part of the story? Let's go. All right, now let's talk about this audio. What happened? Tell us. So that if you were on record publicly, like you appear to want to be, and shoot, they might be MAGA influenced after all this, which is the messed up part about it. Then let's go. Let's have this conversation. You don't get to have it both ways. You don't get to say, no, they're just kids. They shouldn't be in it. They put themselves in it the second that homeboy sat down with Brandon Tatum. So now let's go. Let's do this.
And Reese, I also want to do in any investigation. Yeah, I'm sorry, Daniel. 30 seconds. Okay. The facts are what you see, but you also have to investigate what you don't see. And what you don't see when that young man does that interview, I think his name is Wyatt, what you don't see is tears. What you don't see is somebody being overcome with emotion. What you don't see is somebody choked up. If I proclaim this boy to be my best friend and he has died 2 weeks ago, and I am going back to the scene of where my friend lost his life. Number one, I don't even know that I'd be able to do it. But if I did,
I said that
you
last
would
week.
think
There's no
that
way
I
I
would
could have went
find
back
enough
out there that early on.
condensation or
No way.
Aquafina water bottle or scoop down in the damn lake and have enough audacity to throw a little bit of water up under my eye to formulate some semblance of a tear. And yet you got somebody there just so matter-of-factly explaining the ins and outs of a damn village pump. Where are the tears?
So
and we spoke to Elliot Connie. Daniel, we keep cutting you, but I just wanted to, we promise we're going to let you in. We're going to give you the floor. But we spoke to psychotherapist Elliot Connie yesterday, who basically, conveyed the same sentiment that that Daniva is talking about. I'm just going to play it, and then I'll let everybody respond. We'll let you in. Okay.
Over the past several days,
That's good. That's good, Andy. Let's just play it. He was on our show yesterday, but go for it.
Watched a ton of footage related to Nolan Wells' friends being interviewed. Two of them have now done interviews, or at least their interviews have been released. And there is one red flag that stands out to me above all else. The single most concerning red flag for me as a practicing clinician who's been working with clients for over 20 years and has sat with lots and lots of people. There's one thing that they are doing, or actually not doing and not saying, that is alarming to me. But before I explain what it is, I do want to say I am not saying that these boys are guilty of committing a crime. I don't know what happened that day, and I can't say for sure that they did or did anything or played any role in Nolan Wells' death. But what I will say is some of the information that is coming out as they do these interviews, and some of the things that they're saying, and some of the details. I mean, some of these things are very suspicious and should be investigated. Now, the biggest red flag that I've noticed, not just in these interviews, but in the entire series of events that have taken place since Nolan Wells was missing, is the absence of curiosity, both in their language in these interviews and in their conduct since Nolan Wells' body went missing. And let me explain what I mean.
Okay, thank you, Andy.
If you were going on an island.
Okay, so he explains the lack of emotion that he says when he was showing his friend around again. And caveat, he's not saying anybody's guilty of anything. He is based on his experience as a professional psychotherapist. This is what he would notice as a red flag if he were to. He's not their doctor, but if he were their doctor. So, and this is the one, and it would be the one. This is a clip from yesterday that was on the show. I think Daniva played it on his show yesterday. But it's the one about where he says he's going out to visit the scene where it happened, and he said there's no emotion. But go ahead, Daniel.
Oh, why they didn't want the Coast Guard? Because it was a lie. The boat wasn't sinking. That's why they didn't want the Coast Guard. They called the Coast Guard because they needed that alibi. Meaning they knew this was going to blow up because Nolan went missing. They knew that. So they had to stage their alibi. One of their alibis was, let's call the Coast Guard and act like our boat is sinking. They knew that boat wasn't sinking. They knew nothing was not wrong with that boat. They knew that. They knew that. So that's why they didn't want the Coast Guard. That's why when the lady got back on the phone and switched him over to the dispatcher, he was going off the line. He wasn't even there. The lady discontinued the call. If you were sinking in all that water, which you got other people's lives in your hands on that boat, you would have needed that Coast Guard to come out there and rescue y'all. And people are saying that they did. Well, if they did, show us some receipts, the time and the date, who rescued them, how many people was on the boat. Now, don't you come out here and lie now. Don't come out and lie. Tell the truth if you got there, because I don't believe y'all went there now. Because the man said that the grandpa said they didn't need him. If he do, they will call back. So what's that telling us? They didn't need nobody because they wasn't sinking. It was all a cover-up.
Okay, I have to back up because everybody spoke before I got a chance to speak. So I'm backing up to what Clay said a while ago.
Yeah.
But Clay, you said that, you know, and again, I want to paraphrase what you said, so correct me if I'm wrong, that, you know, you've got to focus on these young men and you can't put them on the back burner, and the investigation can kind of stay on the back burner. Focus on these young men is important.
No. I didn't say the investigation goes in the back burner. Okay. I'm saying they are part of the investigation. They are core to the investigation. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with that. They are core. I'm just saying our focus needs to be on the investigation, because I agree with your point that, you know, we were told that everybody's talked to the authorities, right? We have been told that. We don't know. We haven't seen it. But I have the similar questions. If they haven't been talked to, why? Why not? I assume that Ledbetter says they're talking to everybody. So again, we have to take him for his word. I assume he's talking to everybody. But those are the questions I would have. Why haven't these boys been brought in? What is happening in terms of why hasn't there been, you know, more conversation about their involvement from an investigation standpoint? I also think the focus needs to be on the investigation, because why is the throat missing from the private autopsy? Why are the lungs missing from the private autopsy? Those will tell us more information than this garbled audio. Because Clay, when you spoke, you said, this is what I heard. Every person on here has said, this is what I've heard. And so because it's garbled, we all have different interpretations of this audio.
Sure.
You can have different interpretations of there being water in the lungs or water not in the lungs.
Yeah.
That is a standard fact. If there is water in the lungs, he drowned. Now, again, then you have to determine whether it was accidental or not. That's a whole other investigation. If there's no water in the lungs, then that means somebody did something to Nolan. And I feel like I'm being painted as this person who's defending the boys when I am not defending those boys at all. All I'm saying is I'm defending the truth. Let's get to the bottom of what actually happened. Now, as for, you know, their reaction to them and going back to Horn Island and showing remorse or not showing remorse or grief or whatnot, I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. No one knows how they're going to respond when you find yourself in this situation, right? I think it's suspicious that the forum that they chose to go on. Why are you going on this man that you know has a certain platform? I talked about this yesterday. I don't think that's okay. I think if you're going to speak out, go to the neutral platform.
No, why are they saying any fucking thing? Period. So are they saying stuff because they know they're not going to jail and the lawyer told them, going on, you know, y'all can speak out? Or the lawyer allegedly said, well, you know, because, you know, Mr. Potato already said that he done spoke to some of the kids' attorney. You know what I'm saying? So all this is kind of odd to me. All this is odd to me that they feel so comfortable. They are going different places. They are speaking out. You know, all this shit. It's just weird to me.
Platforms and try to have your perspective told. So I think that to me is concerning. Now, on the flip side, again, you can't say that, and I'm not saying anyone other than Funky, who I believe is saying this, you can't say that then, oh, they did something.
You know, I think what's concerning, Daniel, so let's be clear here. I'm all about objectivity. I'm all about perfect journalism. I'm all about being fair, and I definitely respect it, and I definitely want that. I just think for me, just on some after 5 happy hour, brother to brother, informal type stuff, there's just a level of emotion and concern I'm missing from you. There really is. Like there is just a house Negro vibe I'm getting from you when it relates to this story, and it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me feel like you are more concerned about your acceptance in your white circles than you are about what's going on, because it just really feels like, and not that Black people are monolithic and that we should all be on the same page, but it really does feel like the overwhelming majority of the Black community is on the same page, and you are somebody where over here trying to provide as much cover as you can for these white boys.
Wait.
But in his defense, I think that, hold on. I think in his defense that he is, I think on his journalist hat. But Neva asked you to take off your journalist hat. So anyway, I don't want to speak for you. I just wanted to,
I just want to know what cover I'm providing for them.
Because last show it was we need more evidence, not damn wait, don't jump, and then it's kind of like we get a little more, and it may not be for you the ace in the hole. Then it's kind of like it just feels like just a little push to kind of discredit what it is we're kind of hearing. What we are hearing, whether we're able to make out every single word or not, what we are hearing is y'all ass know what the hell happened to Nolan. I think that any reasonable person can draw that conclusion. Y'all know what happened to that damn boy. The boy was there. Is he dead? Oh my God, Nolan. Damn it, Bart. Is it cover it up? I thought about that. We're hearing that. And I know we keep throwing around these words, interpretation, and because we have to be as objective as possible, but cut the shit. We hear it. And like I said, if you may not be able to make out every specific word, you should be able to deduce, at a minimum, y'all ass know what the hell happened to that damn boy.
Okay, but all right, listen. So I think Daniva, I'm gonna let you go, but Daniva, I think House Negro, that's a little harsh.
I'm in it. I meant it with my chest. I did. I did because that's what it's giving.
So, okay, let me respond. So, Daniva, if it comes out that these boys had no involvement, are you willing to come on and have a big mea culpa and say I was wrong?
I absolutely will. I've never have a problem eating my words. I got a 15-year history of doing it. I'm fallible.
And who is you to
I am
ask him
human,
that? Boy,
and I have been wrong before. But Daniel, this is not new. Okay, go ahead. I mean, history.
Because I am not, unlike you, I'm not drawing a conclusion. I'm not defending the boys. I'm not sitting there saying that they're guilty or not guilty. So if the facts come out that they are involved and murdered Nolan, I have no mea culpa to make because I'm going to say, wow, the facts came out. That's why I am waiting for the lungs. I'm waiting for the throat, and I want the investigation to proceed because that is going to tell us more information than some garbled audio that everyone gets to say, oh, I heard this and I heard.
And let me ask you a question. What you're going to say when the authorities come out and say it was a drowning and make up a lie that what happened in the back of his head came from the drowning? What are you going to say? Are you going to believe them? Are you definitely are you going to believe them? I need to ask you that. Are you going to believe them? And you already know, and maybe thousands of us other people know how Mississippi is and how they cover up so many things when it came to other family members. Are you going to believe that when they come out and a possibility say this to Nolan's family? Just asking for a friend.
That. And so I don't think it's fair for us to jump to conclusions before we have any evidence. You have not visited Mississippi.
Can we change the language?
And we are not jumping to conclusion. Everybody has a right to how they feel about this story. You know, even a content creator, even the subscribers, everybody has a right to speculate how they feel. And you need to go over there and tell that news channel that lied and said Nolan was heavily intoxicated. Did you talk to them and ask them why they put that out there before they came with facts to see if that was true, to wait till the autopsy come out and see if the people found that in his system? Did you call them and tell them to take that back and go up there and clear that up? No, you did not. Just saying.
Like from boys to young men, because they're not boys.
No, sorry, yes, young men. No one here has visited myself. I've not visited Mississippi. Dawn has not visited Mississippi. Clay, Reese, could. All of us are just prognosticating based on.
Well, we don't have to ever visit there or live there. Even the judge came out and said how bad they are there. And he was a judge and was born and raised there and lived there his entire life until he moved to Atlanta. So we hearing it from a professional judge that was on the bench there for decades. What are you saying here?
What we have seen online. And so I just think that any one of us can point to any sort of thing and say, oh, no, he had his shoulders like this. Oh, no, he did this. So he's guilty. He's not guilty. And I don't think we should jump to conclusion that they're innocent or that they're guilty until we have more information. And I will stand by that until we do.
And so let's be clear. I'm drawing a conclusion. They asked no what happened to that damn boy, and they're involved with it. And so I won't have a mea culpa to make either, because I know what I'm looking at. I know what I'm dealing with. I know what I feel, and I know what history has taught us time and time again when it comes to situations like this. They asked know what happened to their boy, and they involved with it.
Okay, so listen, I want to jump in. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, I'm not drawing a conclusion for one specific reason. It's really to protect the family of Nolan Wells, because we don't actually know definitively what happens. And I think in cases like these, when people do really double down and quadruple down and say this is what happens, if it turns out to not be the case, and the family accepts what the evidence definitively states.
Well, in my opinion, I'm just giving y'all my opinion. If they come out and say that this was a drowning, this is just my opinion. I don't believe the family will accept that. I don't believe it. And I could be wrong, but I do not believe that family will buy that story. I'm sorry, sis. I can't agree with you on that, because I don't think that family would agree with that. No. Even if they come up with some fake ass paperwork, I don't believe the family will agree with them. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Then oftentimes the family receives backlash for accepting the ultimate ruling. And so I want to at least reserve some measure of let's see where the evidence takes us. And I think we can have our suspicions. I think we can have our judgments. We can have even our own conclusions. But what I don't want to have happen is, if the evidence, which I think is probably a low probability of that happening at this point based on what we've seen, but if the autopsy comes back and says, hey, this was an accidental drowning, and then his mother and his father say, all right, we've done our thorough independent autopsy and this, that, and the other, and we accept that, I want them to be able to do that and move on without them being crucified for accepting whatever the result is going to be. And if the result is that there was foul play, we will have to rally behind them, because they will be crucified for even taking that fight on. So I got to run, but I do want to say that I think that it's fair, in my view, to not have conclusions, but I also think that it's fair to say, based on what I've seen enough, because Funky, you're not on the jury right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're giving commentary, and Daniel, you're not on the jury either. So it's okay to have a little bit of commentary.
The last two comments we just highlighted.
Reese has to go. Reese has an appointment at 11. You got 1 minute, Reese. Bye.
Oh, no, that's it. I'm done.
Reese. Yeah. Thank you, Reese.
I'll see you this week, Reese. Wait,
thank you. Okay, so go ahead.
The two comments we just highlighted is what I'm saying. The one said, oh, it was the police officer, Ledbetter, and he's the sheriff, the lead sheriff, Ledbetter, is the one that jumped to the conclusion first by saying drowning. I agree with that. That is what I've been saying along. Exactly. I agree. That's where our focus needs to be. Why did he jump to a conclusion first? That is not okay. Why is the throat still missing? Again, I think the focus on these boys, we're not focusing on the Ledbetter. We're not focusing on the Mississippi governor who issued a statement saying, why are all you outside agitators coming into Mississippi? We need to be focusing on the authorities who I think
they would not accept that. I agree. Exactly.
And I think the focus on these young boys is making sure the authorities say, all right, y'all keep focusing on them. We're going to keep covering it up, and you're never going to get to the truth. And that is the problem.
All right, I want you to stand by. I think we need a little palate cleanser here, but I also want to talk about it. This is just a quick conversation. Is it blaming the victim? Is it smearing the victim? That's what I want to discuss. But first, I need one more word, and then we're back in 1 minute.
America has a lot of religions and a lot of people who are not religious at all. So who's going to lose? America recently celebrated 250 years since 5/11, looking to lose.
Roll it, Andy.
Details in the death of Nolan Wells, where investigators say the 18-year-old went missing on July 4th and spent the day drinking heavily. Now, that is coming from a document that was...
This is the one I was telling y'all I heard this morning, but I didn't know he had it up here. I heard it somewhere else. This is the one. Did you go and tell them to recap on that until the autopsy come back to prove that? No, you didn't say that. Because this is a straight lie that they're putting out. And the autopsy from Mississippi haven't even came out. You're speculating because what someone told you. Because you don't know if this is factual or not. Because the autopsy have not been put out to prove your accusations about this boy was drinking heavily. And the mother needs to sue your news station. Yeah, she definitely does.
Obtained by ABC News through a public records request. The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources compiled a brief list of information about wells. And
where's the public? You said it's public records. Where is it? I haven't seen no content creator say anything about that was public records or anyone put it on their platform and say that. Now, if y'all seen it, let me know. But I never seen a content creator come out here yet and say anything that it was public record and they seen that he was heavily drinking.
one of the first agencies to respond was them. The document said it was unknown what Wells had eaten that day, but described his alcohol intake as heavy. A private autopsy also ruled his cause and manner of death undetermined, with the official autopsy still pending.
Okay.
So where did you get that from, lady? What autopsy? Because I didn't hear Ben Crump say nothing like that. I didn't hear him say nothing like that. Now, if he did, y'all correct me in the comments if that was in that autopsy, because I could have missed something. Now, y'all let me know. Now, what I do know, I heard him say they couldn't determine what he ate that day because they didn't have the stomach. And if y'all can remember, a week ago, I said that when you pass away, they can determine what you ate last. Is it steak, potatoes, broccoli? Remember I said things like that? They can determine the time that you ate last, all of that. But this doctor could not determine that because they didn't have the stomach. Now, lady, where did you see this stuff at?
I knew it. I was waiting for it. I knew it reminded me when Botham Jean was shot and killed
exactly,
in Dallas, Texas, in his own home, minding his business. And the woman who shot him, the police officer, they're not investigating what she had in her system. They said, oh, Botham Jean had marijuana in his home. I interviewed his mother saying how much that pissed her off. How is that going to help the family? There are kids out there drinking and living life. Now, I knew they have to.
Well, sis, I agree with you on that. I will agree. I take all, opinions. I agree. And I have said it. And I want everybody to get ready because it might not turn out the way we want this to turn out. It may not play out the way we want. Meaning we know what we want. We want justice for Nolan. But it may not play out that way. And me as being a content creator, I always try to look at the other side when I do commentary on any big story that I cover, because it may not play out the way we want it to play out. So I would definitely agree with you on that. The autopsy from S is sealed. So how would somebody know that? Exactly, Scorpio. Facts. Him drinking heavily was never mentioned. Exactly. Like, I thought I missed something. I was like, shit, y'all let me know now if I missed something now. Because I redacted now. You know what I'm saying? If I missed something, I'm not ashamed to say, okay. If I didn't hear it, hey, y'all let me know. Miss D, it was said, such and such and such. And I redacted. That's just me. I don't mind doing it.
Criminalize, pathologize the victim. And I think what many of us are concerned about, to Quentin and Daniel's conversation, we're concerned about an incompetent investigation. And it's not that far-fetched that we're going to get it incompetent.
Right.
I know folks don't want to hear it,
what happened to him.
But racially charged investigation in Mississippi. So when I hear that, this goes back to my point. When you're going to bring up what his alcohol intake was, that appears in my perception, my interpretation, another way to protect these friends, these other men who were there.
Facts.
How much alcohol did they have in their system? Did they have marijuana in their system?
Facts.
Were they popping pills? He's dead. So you're going to try to act like
you heard the guy calling. The guy calling sounded a little, to me.
He sounded a little lit to me. So I said, and I'm surprised it didn't happen earlier. So now you are trying to criminalize this young man it is not illegal to have alcohol in your system. It's not illegal to have any of that, but it's another way. It feels deeply incompetent. We've been down this road before. Trayvon Martin, remember they showed images of trying to make him look scary. That's one of the things that they constantly do. I think that's the frustration that Quentin and so many others have, that this is deja vu. Now, I'm sure enough going to wait for the entire process and the whole bit, but my spidey senses are going off for real.
Yeah. Quentin, Daniva?
Daniel, let me apologize to you for calling the house Negro. That was inappropriate. It was disrespectful, and I do apologize. I shouldn't have done that in this platform. I should have done it on the phone with my friends and not here.
We hang out in Atlanta later this month.
Yo,
that's
he is so funny. I just love
I know,
him.
seriously, I do apologize. I took it too far. To Clay's point, it's like, but still, Daniel, I want to take you by the neck and do like this. Like right when I got ready to apologize, then they show that, and I get infuriated again. He told you to study Tina Marie. Do you know Tina Marie's song "Deja Vu"? I've been here before. I've been here before.
I've been here before.
We've been here before, and the conclusion is the same. Every time.
Okay.
Daniel, I feel it in my DNA. I feel it in my protons, in my neutrons. The conclusion because I've been here before.
That's what they're gonna say, Queen.
Funky. That news report reinforced, and what Clay just said reinforced everything I've been saying since we hopped on this platform. It's that investigators say. That is, investigators are skewing what the perspective. They're trying to sully Nolan's name. I've been saying that from the start. I don't trust the investigators. We've got to focus on the investigators, and look what came out. So that is just, we're all on the same page here. I don't trust the investigators. Why are they all here only calling out Nolan when all of them were drinking?
So
we all said that. So all I'm saying is we have to focus on the investigators because they're out here trying to skew the perspective. They're out here. They are the ones involved in the cover up, and you all are focusing on these boys. But I'm saying, look, we're not
They're part of the investigation, Daniel.
Young men. You have to connect all the dots, and you're a very smart man. So now I want you to tap into, some of our SAT skill sets. One of which is deductive reasoning. You say the investigators are skewing the investigation. My next question to you is, use your deductive reasoning and let's explore some of the whys. Why are they skewing the investigation? Could it be possible that one particular reason why they are skewing the investigation is to cover it up and save the boys? Could that be possible?
I said that.
Okay.
I said they were covering it up. No, that's why we're on the same page with this. I do not trust the investigators. When I was abroad and I saw that finally we were going to get some answers when the independent autopsy results were being announced, I tuned in from abroad. I was waiting for every little detail. The red discoloration on the back of Nolan's head, the missing throat, the missing lungs. I'm thinking, why do we have more questions than before the results were released? And that led me to say, what are they covering up down there in Mississippi? And we know why they're covering it up. It's to protect those young white men. I keep calling them boys. That's just because they're younger than me. I agree that young white men. So I agree with you. And I'm saying just because the investigators are going to do what they're going to do in Mississippi, that is why we need to be focusing on them.
Okay.
I think we all agree.
Woo, Lord, I'm young and I'm old, I'm rich and I'm poor.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been on this earth many times before. Once I was a white gazelle on a horseback riding free, searching for the dark in the darkness for a piece.
I just love his platform.
Come on, God. For sure. I think we're all on the same page.
And I've been here before.
Don,
Okay.
You really just scored like 10,000 cool points with me. You really did.
I haven't seen him. I loved me some Tina. Are you kidding me?
I saw her sing live. It was amazing.
I did too. Wow. Her and Rick James at the State Fair in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They came in on a helicopter and they were lit.
That is one of the most poetically written songs in my life. Lord knows
So guys, thank you. We didn't even talk about it. We were going to talk about this with you and with Clay. We're going to talk about the bonnets and the do-rags that we did. That's for another time, though. We have to save it for another time. But
call me tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to come on for that now.
All right.
Because under my do-rag that I had when I was in college, I had a really brilliant brain. So I
Same here. Believe it or not, I had waves 360 degrees and they were deep.
Hey, Bob, we don't have time to talk about it for a few minutes.
No, not right now. We got to go. We've been on to enough, and these folks have to do stuff. Okay. Quentin, thank you. I love your realness, and that takes a big person to apologize. That's great. I'm glad. Right? That's real maturity there. And Clay, thank you very much. Clay, where your show is in Washington D.C. on.
Okay, y'all. That was the end of that. Now let me get to her comment. Hold on. Now he did say on that interview that the last time he seen Nolan was fine. And I'm glad she put that in the chat, right? Because if Nolan was fine, then how would he he is so heavily drinking. He'd have been staggering all over the place. Wouldn't you want to make sure your friend get back on the boat safe? If he was heavily drinking, right? Because that means he was staggering, probably knew what was going on. And him as being your friend, you will want to make sure, no, my friend is coming with us regardless of what he say. I'm going to put him on a boat with us. He been drinking a lot. He don't know what's going on. He's a little impaired right now. Let me put him on this boat. That's number one. Okay, because that's what I would do for my friend. If my friend was drinking. Yeah, they never said the organs was missing or anything. They got the organs on lockdown, honey. The organs on lockdown, honey. Only Mississippi got them organs. Only Mississippi can see and know what's going on with those organs, honey. That's it. But we don't know how long this investigation is going to take. We don't know. We don't know what TMZ gonna put out next. We don't know what Mr. Potato who he gonna interview next. What they gonna say. We don't know. Yeah, that's true. Are released. They need to be tested from Nolan's DNA. Yep. This is crazy, y'all. It is crazy. I just feel like Nolan was on that boat. That's just my belief. That's how I feel that, he was on that boat. We can't confirm it, but I feel he was on that boat. And I feel it's a lot of proof with those audios, And why didn't Mississippi Police Department didn't say nothing to TMZ by putting out that recording? And why they didn't say nothing to the Coast Guard for giving it to TMZ and TMZ put the recording out? Wonder why. Where is your coffee link, sis? It's pinned at the bottom. Karen, baby, you see it? It's pinned right at the bottom. Let's see. I think he was on the boat too, probably under a truck. And I believe he was on that boat too. I believe it. I do believe he was on that boat. I definitely do believe it. I missed the beginning. What was the update Dawn was talking about? Oh, he was just having people on his panel talking about how they felt, with the recording, about the boat situation. He brought a therapist up. He had rebuttals from that. He brought up a news station about Nolan's drinking. So yeah, you can go back and watch some of the replay. Yeah. Let me know, Karen, if you see it. I would also like to know, why did Nolan's body have to be identified by the dental records? I think maybe because they said he was decomposed when they got him out the water. So I think that's why they did it with the dental records. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I had a meeting, Miss T. I'm back. Okay. Don, he did believe what he heard. Yeah, he even spoke out of what he heard came out of that boy's mouth. Mm-hmm. She said, Mr. Potato Head need to set his ass back. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ray just dropped the coffee leak again for you, Cameron. Ray, you ain't gotta drop the scream y'all link, because I'm already be out of here anyway. I did overtime today. Y'all know I got a certain time and I be trying to be out of here. He wasn't in the water though. He was found on the sand. That's what I thought, Scorpio, but I didn't want to say that because I didn't know if that was true or not. But that's what I thought I heard people say also. Yeah. Now, I remember, y'all, and this is what I heard because I don't know. When the two nurses got on the live that day and said that he had burns. I don't know if it's true or not, y'all. I don't know. But that's what I heard they say. Now, I never heard nobody rebunk that. If y'all heard it, y'all can let me know. So, I don't know. It's just so much. It's so much, y'all. It is. It's just so much going around. I don't know. I really don't. Like, I just, when I say things, y'all, if I don't have no proof of it, I would say, did y'all hear this? Did y'all hear that? I heard this. I heard that. But I really don't have no proof of it, But yeah, I did hear that too. Would he look like that if he was sleeping, if he was in the water and him laying in the sand? That's true too, Scorpio. That's why I said I don't really know. And that's why I brung that back up. What I heard them say. That's why I brung that back up a while ago. Mm-hmm. That's why I brung that back up. They jumped Nolan and beat him to death. Possibility. Possibility. Yep. Great possibility. You leave no stones unturned, as my mama would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we just gonna still keep the family in prayers, y'all. Even though we don't know what the outcome gonna be, we don't know what Mississippi gonna come out and say. We're praying they don't come out and say that this was a drowning and try to cover this up. I hope they are really doing their due diligence, everything they can to see what really happened to him. I don't know who in the chat said it, but someone did say, I think that was Queen said that. One of what the 60 witnesses said, that all of them say the same thing. I'm wondering the same thing too. because it seems like to me, like people that was on that island makes me feel like everybody is against Nolan. I have not seen one person yet that was on that island that can come out here and say Nolan was on that boat. Nolan did not get left back. Like, I just don't get it, y'all. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just saying. Miss D, great live. God bless you. Justice for Nolan. Thank you, sis. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If y'all want to donate, my link is in the chat. And I'm going to get up off here, y'all, because we've already have a bad storm. And I want to charge up my phone, my laptop, just in case the power go out. I don't know. But we've already got a bad storm here. And I'm glad it came at the end of my life. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for tapping in. Even all the new supporters that came in today. I appreciate y'all also. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all support. I thank you guys. I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow back on Roy D Investigates. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay prayed up. Remember to keep God first. And I love you guys. And Karen, the link was there. If you didn't get it, you can grab it. And I'm also going to put it in the description. Awesome live, Miss D. Thank you, Miss Parker. They was jealous of Nolan. Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely do believe that too. Because jealousy can play a role in a lot of things, y'all. Jealousy is a disease. Jealousy is a disease. Yes. Yes, it's a disease. And jealousy is dangerous. It's dangerous. Very dangerous. I did. Okay. They said he washed up out the water. I heard that, Karen. I did hear that. You do the same, Miss Parker, baby. Did you get it? Hold on. Let me check before I get off. Yes, I did, Karen. Thank you so much, baby. Yes, I did. Thank you. So, y'all always be careful. Y'all put in y'all corner and watch out for every little red flag. When you see a red flag, please just don't overlook it. Take it as what you see is worth. And that's what I'm going to say. And I love you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow. New subscriber. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, y'all. I got to go and do some more work for tomorrow. I love you guys. Y'all stay prayed up. Peace and love.